want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, with your body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
chance to run, leave behind the said and done, figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I can't. once. Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow doubt, and I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now, and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me. Oh.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again.
Atomic particles traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature. the speed of light, special relativity provides us with a means of going to the stars.
This evening.
I'm very well, thank you. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm looking forward to a great night's worth racing here at the fabulous circuit of Oscherslaben A. It's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing here tonight, Jamie. A circuit we come to that not a lot of people tend to race on, not a lot of people tend to hit, and it's definitely a Marmite circuit. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I think majority of this grid absolutely detest it.
Yeah, I think the majority of the grid do. It's not a track that you see a lot of. It's not a track you see a lot of in the GT3s. I think they might have done it for ADAC Masters or some sort of German GT3 racing this thing, but you don't normally see too much racing going on here, so it's not a track that the drivers don't normally race on, don't know that well.
No, not at all. And also, it's not a circuit that primarily is happy for this car, as Brasier's going to do a bloody lovely job of showing us what the pit entry is like. As you can see here, he goes very, very wide, and this pit entry is probably the worst one of the season, don't you think, Jamie? Very, very long pit lane.
Yeah, it's a very, very long pit, and the pit exit is interesting as well. So we'll see when a car comes out of the pits, we'll cut to that car so we can see the pit exit. But yeah, this track definitely one of those tracks that there's a minority that like and the majority dislike it, but they've all got to get on with it tonight.
Yeah, definitely so. And before we get into it tonight, shall we have a run of the championship standings as we go into the penultimate round of the season? It is Mate Himovic who leads the way as Overtaker, missing out at the last round, which was at Daytona, as we see Max just in the background there. And Plava just passing a practice start there by the looks of things. But Matt leads the way. He's got a 21-point gap over the Overtaker, and Fury is 61 points behind. These three are the only three still in the championship hunt, but Fury's got a lot of work to do tonight to keep him in the hunt tonight. In fourth place is Gary 131 and Jaeger Motorsport are exceeding the championship lead in the constructors, thanks to those two being in the top four. And in fifth place is Peaceful Explosion. Can he get any closer to Gary? There's a couple of points separating them at the minute. I think it's only 6 points separating those two. D-Biggs, though, currently 2 points behind him in P6. And Sati Apex currently in 7th place as well. 7 points behind D-Biggs. Then it's another 20 points back to M Bravo, who's obviously missed a couple of rounds, but he's still solid in that 8th place position. 9th place, and possibly missing out on the first race, will be Smoky Devil. He's currently a bit way off his teammate in the championships. And in 10th place, it's KLF. Still in the top 10 for him in the Lamborghini, and he's already looking at changing cars for next season. P11 is currently Andy. He's still in that top group at the minute, but Mazda is not too far behind. Hopefully Mazda should be able to get into the session, wherever Mazda is too. He's currently P12. P13, we haven't seen him for a while, was Emo Guy, and he's still not here at this minute. P14 is Kieran Argent. And in P15 is Monkey Boy. P16 is Mac Mulder, and he's in the session. And also Neek should be on his way, who runs in 17th place.
He's just joined the session.
He has just joined the session. So the two Sneaker Academy are joining the session. And in 18th place is Disco McDisco Face. In the team championship, it's looking like this. Jaeger Motorsport with a hefty lead at 109 points ahead of Silence of the Lambos in 2nd place. Teletubby Motorsport still, again, in the constructors fight here, but not able to really stay in the fight after this round. P4 is Smoking Hot Racing at the minute, with P5 is Audio Sport Pro Labs. P6 is Pushing Limits Racing. P7 is Simplay Racing. P8 is Slingshot Motorsport. And P9 is Sneaker Academy. And tonight, Jamie, it's going to be all about this man and his championship rival, Mata Himovic. Fury still mathematically in this fight, but really, he's got to be dropping out here tonight, isn't he? There's no real hope, especially on a circuit like this where the Mercedes will struggle. Yeah,
unless Matt and Overtaker have an absolutely abysmal night where they both don't score a single point and Fury goes for the clean sweep, then yeah, then it looks like a bit of an impossible job for Fury, but we know he'll put on a good show. But yeah, as you say, this isn't a track for the Mercedes. It's probably not a track for Fury. Fury's probably looking more forwards towards Monza. This circuit just doesn't suit his driving style whatsoever, because we know Fury just loves to push the ragged edge of that car, as he does go quickest with a 27.4. But yeah, this isn't a track that you can take the car by the scruff of the neck. You've got to be so patient with this track, trying to nail every apex just to get the perfect lap. Let's say when we go to Monza next week, it's a different kettle of fish, so that'll probably suit Fury a bit more. But I reckon Fury will still try and go for some decent points tonight.
Yeah, definitely so. And obviously last night you had the Pro-Ams out on track as well. We crowned our new champion in the Pro-Ams of Little Leach. He is your new champion in the Pro-Am division, so congratulations to him. And regarding Little Leach as well, the car looked the strongest here last night, Jamie, was actually a car that you're very fond of, which is the Audi. We go on board with Arjun. The Audi seemed very, very good here, especially the 24-hour endurance. Brins and Shane's looked a little bit more hooked up than Smithy and Little Leach's. But either way, pretty much the same car, same concept, probably ever so slight difference in different things, but pretty much the exact same car. This car, in the hands of Arjun and Biggs, hopefully tonight, could do some damage.
And Neek and Max as well.
Of course, yeah.
We've seen Max winning this car already back in Pro-Am. Neek put on a good show for us all the way back in Hockenheim. So hopefully they can be right up the front as well. But I think the man probably to look for in the Audi has to be D-Biggs, the man with the most experience in the Audi, and the only one to actually take a win in the Audi of the current grid.
He's not going to do
grass. Yeah.
He's not going to do it out there, but Smoky Devil in the chat saying even all good luck, and hopefully he'll make race 2, and hopefully we do get Smoky Devil in. We're only missing Emo Guy and Mazda, and I'm pretty sure neither of them will be turning up this evening. So we'll be looking eye on D-Biggs here this evening in that Audi. What can he do? Also, we need to keep an eye on what the 3 Lamborghinis can do of Overtaker, Sutty, and KLF, as in the hands of Welshie and Stealth Sloth, who look like a bit of a handful, but I've seen a bit of practice, and Overtaker looks like the man on the pace already, but we haven't seen Sutty out on track, and he's already attacking those carbs. Look at him go. He's already in the 29.2s, and we're already smashing the Pro-Ams times. They were all in the low 28s into the high 30s in their quali and race pace, but already Fury 27.4 on his hands. Oh, as Sutty goes round.
Yeah, Sutty has a spin there. Yeah, it'll all depend what Sutty we get tonight. Whether Sutty's coming late from work and had to get the controller out, or whether he's had plenty of time to get the control or to get his wheel out. But I'm pretty sure he'll make the excuse that he got in with about 5 minutes to go, so he's got to use the controller.
Well, actually, I was in a party with him a second ago, and even myself, Matt, and most of the others were telling Sutty, this is a wheel circuit. You want to be on the wheel here. You don't want to be on the pad. And he's like, mate, I've already got the pad loaded up. I'm ready to go. So I'm pretty sure Sutty is probably on the pad. If we go on board with him, actually, let's have a look at the wheel movement. Let's see if he actually is on pad or not.
Yeah, he's on.
That looks like
he's
pad
on
to
pad.
me.
Yeah, that is pad.
So Sutty Apex doing his usual thing and being a lightweight, just like he does drinking, he's obviously opted to go for the user option and go for the pad. But this opportunity here gives us a good look of just how tricky this circuit is. Obviously, this track is length of 2.2 miles long, has 16 corners, and the track width, Jamie, is only between 11 and 13 meters wide. So there's not really a lot of space for these cars to overtake one another. I think 13 is probably this back straight where Sutty's coming to now. He goes through McDonald's chicane. That's what it originally used to be called. It used to be called McDonald's chicane, and down the back straight we go. Sutty Apex probably at the widest part of the circuit here, and a circuit that's it's a fairly young circuit. FIA Grade 2 was originally built in the 25th of July 1997 and is now 24 years old. And Jamie, if it was 4 days later, we'd be celebrating his 25th anniversary of this circuit. Most common circuits here, most common championships that have been here have been DTM, ETCC, FIA GT have been here. The World Touring cars are probably the most famous of being around here, and also this is a massive bike circuit. There was a little bit of research into this, Jamie. I actually found out they did an endurance bike race here, which was 8 hours as Oscherslaben, so a hefty circuit to do 8 hours of racing. Turn 1 looks very different to what it does today. Turn 1, a 90-degree corner in this concept. But I believe M. Plava's coming to turn 1, so we get a good look at it. It's now been opened up to a more swooping chicane. Well, obviously, this is now the old layout, so it's a 90-degree left-hander. And the reason they changed it is due to so many multiple car accidents due to this corner. The way it was designed was horrible, and it would cause multiple accidents. One other final fact that I have is the McDonald's chicane. A lot of drivers, especially in GT cars, they found if they attacked that chicane on the very first couple of laps, they would eventually go on to have suspension damage and have to retire from the race because the curbs are that lethal. And Jamie, I thought I'd leave the best quote of this circuit to you because you're a massive touring car nut, and I believe it's from John Clennon, wasn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. John Clennon back in 2007 when World Touring cars came to this circuit. There was a massive pile up at turn 1, and John Clennon decided to say whoever designed turn 1, he wanted to take into a dark room and beat them a battle head.
What a lovely way of putting that, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with whoever designed this circuit because it's one of my favourites. And let's have it say a good evening to everybody in the chat. Michael Matthews already saying evening all and good luck tonight. Peaceful also in the chat. Peaceful Stepdad, sorry, say good evening to everybody. Fury's Granddad in the chat, evening all and good luck to everyone. Let's go. And I put a little poll in as well. 3 votes saying, do we like this circuit, yes or not? Mummy D in the chat as well saying evening all. And I like this track. Do you like this track, Jamie?
It's not one of my favourites, but I wouldn't say that I dislike it.
I love this circuit. I'm so glad it got another chance. Obviously, not my pick this season. It's actually the man currently in P9. He selected this track this season. Argent is the man who decided to pick this circuit, and I bet half of the grid now are absolutely fuming with him. Let's see how he gets on tonight. And the Audi as well. It could be a very strong circuit for himself, especially in that car. But currently, at this stage, it's Fury who's fastest overall.
Yeah, it's two Mercedes at the top from a Lamborghini, from a Ferrari, and if we go on board with Monkey Boy, the Ferrari should be quite a good car round here as well because it's quite good through the corners as well. I had a bit of a go in the Ferrari around here, and yeah, say at the minute I was quicker than Peaceful's time at the minute, but I reckon Peaceful's got the sandbags in, so he'll probably go quicker than what I did. At the minute though, Overtaker's only a couple of hundredths off Matt. But yeah, the Ferrari should hopefully go quite well, and hopefully Peaceful and Monkey Boy can have a bit of luck, and Peaceful doesn't do any of his signature pirouettes.
Definitely so. Let's hope the Ferrari can get back to its top form. Obviously, chassis circuit, not power, so the Ferrari should be relatively good around here. There's PN in the chat as well. We'll see him on a Sunday night as us F2 drivers will be hitting the track at Shanghai for the next round of the championship. I think it's round 5 we go to, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Round 5 of the championship. And Overtaker, you can clearly see, is possibly holding back some pace right now. I was just about to get on something, but I can't remember. Obviously, last night, Jamie, a lot of racing was going on in the Pro-Ams. A bit quiet as well, but this circuit is probably one of the more difficult circuits to overtake on. There's no real opportunities to really overtake. You've got to be quite inventive around here. Turn 1 here is probably your best bet, and as you saw there, cars flying out the pits. That's another thing the guys have to be cautious of as well. But regarding overtaking here, Jamie, it's actually quite a difficult circuit to overtake on.
I think Little Leech might want to have words with you after race 2 last night, because he proved it wrong that you can overtake around this track. But yeah, it is quite difficult. Say with the Audi, with it having very good traction, it's got more of an advantage overtaking because it can get off the corners quicker. The Mercedes just can't, apart from the pit straight and this back straight that Max is coming to now after he comes through the chicane. That's probably the Mercedes' best bet, as Max gets the chicane all wrong, and he ends up into the gravel and into the wall. So we'll get a him. We'll go on to Gary, who's side by side with Fury. So Fury's actually going to get past Gary. So this is a good overtaking opportunity as well, because if you don't have the straight line speed, you can always try and make the guy outbrake themselves going into there and end up in the gravel, going across the gravel.
Indeed they can, as I'm just putting in the prediction for pole position here tonight. And what can Matahimovic do? Obviously, championship leader here tonight. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got 21 points over Overtaker. And this is obviously a circuit that's not going to suit his car. He's obviously going to be looking at Monza for the next round of the season to really try and put a stomp on his championship. What does he have to do tonight to make sure that he stays ahead of Overtaker?
He's just got to keep it on. He's got to keep it on the track and just bag as many points as he can. If Overtaker's gone up the road, then he doesn't need to worry about Overtaker. The advantage for Matt is that he's got Gary to sort of help him. So if Matt gets stuck at all, he's got Gary as his rear gunner to help him. So that's one advantage that Matt has over Overtaker at the minute, because Overtaker doesn't have anyone, because Emo Guy is not here. So if Overtaker doesn't have good race pace, and he could end up with Matt and Gary tag teaming on him, and say Matt could end up getting away, and Gary's job might just be to hold up Overtaker. But for Matt, yeah, it's got to be damage limitation tonight, and just try. I think minimum for him has got to be at least a podium in either race, but yeah, just get as many points as possible.
As Matt currently on a low fuel run here, does a 27.7, and Fury back to the pits. We have got 13 cars. Hopefully we should have 14 cars on the grid, as we're still waiting obviously on Smoky Devil, but hopefully he should be able to make it. Regarding the records here, they're all held by myself in the Porsche 911, but obviously we're going to be breaking them here tonight, because already Fury, a 127.3, he's only a 10th off of the record around here in qualifying. The race qualifying was a 128.1, so these guys are already going quicker than that. I believe also when the pros were set, we were in early winter.
Yeah, because I think we come here for GT3's last season, did we not?
Yes, we not last season, the season before, because I was in the Porsche 911. Me and Big were in the Porsche, and we gambled on wets to the end while the track dried out.
Yeah, I do remember now.
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to have an interesting night versus racing. No rain forecast here. A lot different to what we had last week at Daytona, where the advantage on the Mercedes went straight out the window because of the wet conditions. But right now, Nick and Max at the minute just seem to be struggling. They're not able to put a lap time together, able to stick on track. So hopefully those two have got a little bit more pace. Matt crossed the line. He's still 2 tenths off his best, but it is Fury at the minute who is setting the benchmark.
Gary's just gone quicker. Gary seems to be struggling at the minute.
I know for a fact Gary detests this circuit. He does not like this track.
Yeah, this isn't the sort of track that Gary would like. At the minute, it's the top 3 that are covered by a second, and in a practice session on Tuesday night, the top 4, which was me, Matt, Emplava, and Sutty, were covered by 500ths of a second. So if we can get a top 4 covered by that margin in qualifying, then we should be in for a treat. But Piesel's now got within that second, so he's getting closer to Overtaker's time, and he's showing that Ferrari has got some good pace around here.
He has indeed. As like I said, a good evening to everybody in the chat, especially Holty, who's just joined as Argent gets turn 1 very badly there. As we join, Holty's in the chat, and I've got to give a massive congratulations to Holty last night. I've done something similar last season. Racing with COVID is one of the most difficult things, and he managed to do so, obviously, in this heat as well. So a massive pat on the back to Holty last night, and he took 2 podiums as well. So congratulations to him, and I hope he's feeling a little bit better tonight. Regarding Kelly, he's coming into turn 1, turn 2. This should be a circuit that should suit his driving style. Very slow, paced kind of track. You have to be patient on the power, easy on the throttle. What do we expect from Kelly here tonight, or is he just going to try and pick up the pieces?
I think Kelly's just gonna want to pick up the pieces a bit. I think he's not like this Lambo really at all. Since practice session now comes to an end. Yeah, Kelly's just going to be wanting to pick up the pieces as long as he can keep it on the track, get some good points. I'm pretty sure he'll be happy heading into next week to the season finale of Monza.
Yeah, the Lamborghini should be relatively good at Monza. Has good straight line speed, but also it's got that a little bit more downforce than the Mercedes probably has as well. So when they come to Ascari and the Lesmos as well, but obviously we'll be looking at the Ferraris at Monza, as the Tifosi will be screaming for them. And Arjun exits the final corner, and as the practice session comes to an end, it is Fury who is currently top of the table and looking to be the fastest here, as I have put a poll out on who people think is going to take pole position here. Matt is currently on 50%, 6 of you currently voted, 16 people currently watching. Get your votes in as well. Overtaker on 17, Fury, and I realise I've just got his name wrong in the chat there, and Peaceful as well on 0 at the minute, so not a lot of people backing up Peaceful here. But K left towards the line. Does he improve on his lap time? He doesn't. M Brava also towards the line. Does he improve? He does, but he doesn't quite go ahead of Peaceful.
Is that Matt in the background, or who was that? We've got a car coming to the final corner. That is neat. Can he improve? He's down 10 seconds from Kelly. I think Overtaker improved to go quicker. Is right at the end.
And yeah, no, I know I got it wrong. I got the wrong way around, but no worries, Fury. I will sort that out. As yeah, Overtaker goes top. There were 26.9. It's already smashing the lap record here. But Jamie, qualified now. What would be your approach into this?
My approach probably would be just to find a nice, clean part of the track. So not near anyone, but looks like these guys are not taking that, not doing that. They're getting straight out there. But it is a long lap, and especially you don't want to keep making mistakes. So perhaps these guys are thinking that they don't want to make mistakes. You see them all come flying out the pit lane. I think that is M. I think is it N at the Improva at the front. It is indeed, and he's got Overtaker. So Overtaker's a bit compromised here because he's got Emplava right in front of him. Now, as Matt has waited in the pit lane. Is Matt on his way? Matt is now on his way out. He's got one of the Audis in front of him. Is that Argent?
Whatever. If it's the coloured wing, then it is Argent. It's Argent. The yellow mirrors are Argent and the white are Biggs. And yeah, this is really going to compromise Overtaker here at the minute because he is stuck behind Emplava, and Emplava's in no rush to get on a move here. And obviously Overtaker just taking, Emplava taking out those cones at McDonald, which is going to be heavily watched for track limits. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But also, in this sense, Jamie, the track is quite short, only a 1 minute 20 lap. Really, oh, was Emplava makes a mistake there.
Emplava's dropped it, and Overtaker's now got a clean track in front of it. Wonder whether Overtaker was thinking of getting a slipstream, because the slipstream is not what you want around here. Who is the last car on track? Is that? I want to say it's Kelly, but it's not.
I want to say Gary. What's Gary? Not
no,
far
Gary's
off.
the second to last. It's
Neek.
What I think.
Is that Neek?
Yeah.
Might be Neek. No,
it's
Max. Max is going to be the last car. So what I found, Jamie, obviously a little practice session before we came into this. Obviously the temperatures are quite high here due to the heat that we're having at the minute, and also the rear left seems to be affected quite badly as Matt letting the whole pack through. He wants clean air. I found that with the Lamborghini and Max coming straight back into the pits, that's going to really compromise him. I found that your first flying lap isn't going to be your best. It's your second flying lap tends to be the better one, and you really need to work those tyres. Don't heavily aggressive on the first lap. Try and build the pressure up relatively quickly, but then lap 2, nail it, and you should be able to produce the best tyre life out of them. As Overtaker will be the first man to set a lap time as he heading through McDonald.
Yeah, so when I was driving the Ferrari earlier in the week, I found it was actually about my fourth or fifth lap where I'd get my quickest time. So I just found the Ferrari looked after its tyres a little better, but it's probably just me needing to get up to speed with the Ferrari.
Or as I just think though, Fury just go a little bit wide on the exit there, but he looks like he's all right. As Overtaker will now come and set the benchmark, get a lap time under your belt, and Overtaker is going to set a lap time here. And what is it going to be as I will end the poll as these guys come at the end of their laps. So the 26.6 already from Overtaker. Boom, have that, boys. What can you do? Fury is second off, Sutty 2.7 off. So all the guys now coming towards the line. Can anybody get close? Monkey Boy 3.6, Biggs towards the line. Keep an eye on what this man can do as Emplava goes P4. D Biggs, where can he go? He goes P3 at the minute.
Who was that coming to the final corner? That was
KLF, I think. Was it KLF? I think it was KLF, possibly.
That might have been Kelly. He hasn't set a lap time yet, but Kelly is now heading towards the line. Max hasn't come out of the pit. KLF goes above Monkey Boy, so that's good. Argent towards the line.
I remember why now Max has gone back to the pit. He's carrying a qualifying ban from obviously retiring at Daytona, so that is why he's in the pits. Daft me. As Gary goes into P6 and Matovic, his first lap time. Can he get anywhere near Overtaker? He goes P3. No. So Fury at the minute is the man hunting down Overtaker at this rate.
Yeah, he is, and the Overtaker's gone back to the pit, so who does this mean is at the front? Is it Fury? It is, it's Fury, and Fury is up on his time, but he's got it all crossed up through there, and he's going to have to go again on that one. So we've got the car behind, which it is slightly Apex Magra on board, he's got Peaceful just behind him. So it's going to get he's going to get a little bit of a toe off Fury down the straight, which might help him a little bit.
Yeah, ever so slightly as Sutty Apex comes towards side. Can he improve on 8th place? He does. He goes P3. He goes ahead of Matt. And Emplava just behind as well. No, it's the Ferrari of Peaceful. He goes P6. I think Emplava was near that section as well. He is actually in the final corner. So what can the young Latvian do towards the line in the Mercedes-Benz for Smoking Hot Racing? What can he do? Can he improve? No, he will stay where he is. Neek next towards the line. Has he improved on his lap time? He stays P10 at this stage. Yeah,
who have we got? Coming to the final corner, it's KLF. Can Kelly improve on P11 at the minute and jump ahead of Neek? He comes to the line, no improvement there. Who have we got next? Not Argent, because he's coming into the pits, and Argent's got a time penalty.
Yeah, it's got a time penalty there. I think he might have been caught out by the bollards there as Matt comes towards the line. Can he improve on P4? He goes P2.
By 19 hundredths of a second, so Fury is going to be desperately trying to get that one back, and I think Fury was actually coming out of has been in the pits as well. That's Overtaker behind Matt as well. So is Matt going to start playing? Would Matt start playing in games with Overtaker, but I think Overtaker's going to get pole anyway, so I don't think it's going to be. It's going to do anything. Who have we got coming to the line now? Monkey Boy's not far off, but there's a car at the final corner.
Gary.
It's not so. It's Gary. There's a car just further ahead. Who was that? Gary comes to the line.
Might have been Peaceful, possibly. Monkey Boy towards line doesn't improve. Who's that behind? Oh, he does improve, but not much faster. It was D Biggs. He goes P2.
He goes P2. Look how close second, third, and fourth are. There's a car. It's Neek. Neek gets very close to the wall there.
Yeah, trying to get us.
Comes straight back and spin.
Max needs to go back into the pits as he's carrying a qualifying ban, so he needs to go back into the pits.
Yeah.
So I think he will do in a minute.
Unless he's just testing something and not setting a lap time.
Possibly
Fury's come across the line. So Matt's just gone back into P2 and he's gone a few tenths quicker than D Biggs now. Who'll jump back onto Sutty coming across in 5th place at the minute. And even if he finds a few tenths, he could find himself on the front row. Doesn't find any time. Who have we got next to the line? Not Argent, not Nick. That was Max, but Max needs to make sure he doesn't set a lap time. Now, if not, he'll be facing the wrath of me and Dan.
I have just sent him a message as well, so hopefully he has got the message. But either way, Peaceful Explosion towards turn 1 he goes.
And then Plover's in the wall big time. Gary comes across the line, he's still only P8. Neek has got he's got Biggs just in front, so I think Biggs has been into the pit. A car at the final corner. Who is that over? No, Matt's down going slowly, so he's trying to create a bit of air as Neek and Biggs have gone through.
Where's Max currently on track? He's obviously not meant to be setting a lap time. Where is he? He's in the back straight now, so we will see if he has seen the message.
Yeah, we've got Neek and D-Biggs coming to the line. I don't think either of these two are going to improve on their lap time. D-Biggs to the line. No improvement from Neek. There was 2 cars behind. I think one was Matt, the other was Sutty. No improvement. As Max has continued on, and he's going to set a lap time. So
he is last though.
He is last. So he would be.
Matt's done. Matt's done for the session.
Matt is done for the session, so he needs to be careful that D-Biggs or Fury don't set a lap time. Anyone to the line. Peaceful's coming to the line. No improvement. There doesn't seem to be many improvements. Gary, what about him? 8 tenths jumps ahead of Peaceful, and only a couple of hundredths now off Sutty. Anyone else to the line? Monkey Boy. What can Monkey Boy do? No improvement. Unfortunately, Max has gone back to the pit, so he's done for the session.
He is done, and obviously will be starting last due to obviously he shouldn't have qualified anyway, but it doesn't matter either way. He will be starting last for this race. Fury towards the line. Can he find a little bit more time to get ahead of Matt? He does. He goes 5 tenths. He gets within 4 tenths of Overtaker, and that is him done.
Yeah, that's him done. Kelly's in, so he's out qualified Monkey Boy, and the session is done. And it's going to be Neek that's going to set the first lap time. We're going to finish first. He comes towards the final corner. D-Biggs just behind, so I don't think D-Biggs is going to improve because Neek was behind him starting the lap. Neek to the line. Can he jump up? He'll start ahead of Argent anyway. No improvement. D-Biggs went back to the pit.
He finds the 10th there. Argent returning back to the pits also. So all these guys on their Argent's still out of track. Peaceful Explosion currently found 21 thousandths of a second. Maybe it's the final sector. He's just losing a little bit of time. He was doing 27s, but he seems to be struggling in this qualifying session as he comes into the final few corners now. Peaceful Explosion into the final corner. Can he find those 5 tenths in the final corner to get ahead of Gary 131? Towards the line he comes. Peaceful Explosion. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. No. As Gary comes towards the line, does he improve? He does. Yeah, it goes ahead of Sutty.
Yeah, we've got. Who have we got coming to the line now? Is that I think it is Overtaker. Can Overtaker get even do an even quicker lap time. Can he get? He does.
26.4.
26.4. And Argent coming across the line.
And I don't think Argent improved, so that is your grid order here this evening, and it is Overtaker taking another pole position here. He's got Fury alongside him on the front row. Masimovic will be starting on the second row with his good friend D-Biggs, and P5 is Gary131. P6 is also Sutty. Those two guys making an absolute amazing show out at Mexico in the F1s, as they will be running alongside each other. Peaceful next to Emplava for row 4. Row 5 will be Argent and Neek. And P11 will be KLF and Monkey Boy alongside him, and Max bringing up the rear. And as we get on to the race here, and Jamie, who's your prediction for the win here tonight for this first race?
I think my money's got to be on Overtaker for the win. We know how well he does when he's out on his own in front. So I think I can't pass Overtaker, but if Fury jumps him at turn 1, it could be very different.
It could be indeed, as I put now the top 4 on the. Let's see if I can spell Fury's name correctly this time. CBK.
Watch D-Biggs from 4th place, because we know that Audi is very good at its starts, and everyone just needs to be careful because it is a very, very tight grid. If we go on board with on board with Emplava and go, you can see how tight the grid is and how closely packed together it is. It reminds me a bit of Snetterton's grid.
It does indeed. A vote has gone out for who you guys think will be the winner of the first race, and the poll and the pit window is the end of lap 5 to the end of lap 16. I have to make sure that I've got that correct, because I don't want to say it out loud and these guys think. End of lap 5 to end of lap 16. So it's going to be an interesting race. Max will start last. He did have a qualifying ban, shouldn't really been out on track, but either way, he will be starting last for this race. Overtaker on pole position. Matt, his championship rival, starting right behind him. We are at the penultimate round of the season, round 21. 4 races to go. 1, 2 here and 2 at Monza. Who is going to take the title here in the pros? Can Matt do in his first attempt in the Pro-Am, or Overtaker in his first ever attempt here at Simplay Motorsport? Can he take the championship, as we are syncing up here? It is the Lamborghini and the Mercedes on the front row. The lights come on, the res rise. Then we go here for round 21 of the season, and everyone gets a fairly even start. Looks like Emplava got a good start, but Overtaker already closing off Matt off there, and Fury to the outside as everybody heads towards turn 1. And what counts is we got Monkey Boy already putting cars in the wall, as Fury's going to go right rowdy on the Overtaker and gets the job done. Can Matt sniver his way up down the inside? No, he can't, but it's Fury who leads the way.
It is indeed. There was carnage in the background. That looked to be Monkey Boy KLF, and possibly Max Piesel's not had a good start, and D-Big getting back down the inside of Gary. Overtaker's run wide, and that's gone up. But Matt, crucially, is up into 2nd place at the minute. Overtaker made a little mistake, and Matt's up into 2nd.
Matt has got the job done, and Overtaker now behind his rival, and D-Biggs now right on the back of them. Is Matt going to try back Overtaker into them, and Gary also there, right there, to give him a hard time. Neek has made a very good start, and I think that's Argent gone off. It is Argent.
Yeah. Argent is well and truly nestled in the wall, but Fury is away. Overtaker's having a look down, trying to have a look down the inside of Matt. That's not going to work there, but he's going to have a go anyway. He's sending down the inside. They give each other a rub. Matt's going to have the inside now. Is he going to force? Oh, he does a little bit. He pushes Overtaker onto the gravel. Overtaker's not going to like that.
That's big. Biggs is coming around the outside of Overtaker, and Overtaker just manages to hang on there, as this is allowing Fury to disappear. He's got a 2-second gap over these two, and away he goes. Gary131 just behind Biggs, and also Peaceful starting to put pressure on Neek just behind him. And it was the last time we saw Neek was at a German circuit, and we're back at another one as Overtaker sends it into turn 1, and he makes contact to the back of Matt there, and Gary then hits the back of Overtaker. As Biggs now on the inside of Overtaker, and is going to hold him out to dry there, as Gary131 also down the inside. Can he find a way through?
He's side by side with side by side with Overtaker, but Overtaker looking a bit desperate now. And he tried to go right around the outside of D-Biggs, and D-Biggs probably isn't going to have any of that, and forces him on the grass. Overtaker's getting beaten up by everyone tonight.
He is indeed, and Biggs obviously just pushing him out wide. Overtaker losing out to D-Biggs there. Slutty Apex now trying to get onto the back of Overtaker. Everyone is just absolutely mugging the Overtaker here as we get on our way here. As Emprava is now started to get on the back of Monkey Boy. Max has had a moment. He has made a mistake and loses out to Sutty now.
He loses out to Sutty, and he's now going to have Peaceful right on the back, and he's got Neat not too far behind either. I wonder whether has Max got any damage. It doesn't look like he's got any damage.
And not by the looks of things. There's Emprava now on the back of Monkey Boy. Can he find a way past the Ferrari? Should be relatively easy in the Mercedes, down the back straight towards the right-hander. And Peaceful's gone round, and Emprava will get the job done on Monkey Boy as Peaceful tries to get going again.
Yeah, Overtaker is trying his luck with Sutty Apex.
And this is a man he will struggle to get past.
He will indeed, unless Overtaker pulls the unthinkable on Sutty. Is he gonna have a look into turn one? He does indeed. It didn't work last time with Matt, and I just think he's been a little bit too optimistic into turn one. He just needs to be a little bit more patient, because he's tried it twice and made contact with both Matt and Sutty. But he's having a look on the inside, and I think he might have got the run up the inside. He has indeed, but Sutty chops his nose off.
He didn't quite get him in the brakes. It's like Sutty was much better on the brakes as Overtaker tries to get the undercut on him. Meanwhile, Gary has cleared D-Biggs and is on his way to try and catch his teammate Matt, but Biggs is not able to let him get away too far. He's still within reach of him, but at the minute, Overtaker is being held up by Sutty, and Peaceful has got back going again, but he is at the back of the pack. Argent currently in 12th place position. 2 more laps until the pit window is open. But this is your closest fight on track right now between the two Lamborghinis. Neek not actually too far behind these two either, so he's having a good race one, unlike his teammate Max, who's recovering from a poor start.
Yeah, he is indeed. I think Peaceful actually made another mistake, because Argent has got past him this lap. So he's just holding his line, not letting Overtaker have a sniff anywhere. Overtaker just puts a wheel in the gravel as well, and Neek's getting closer and closer. Now, is Overtaker going to try again? He touched the grass there. That's not what he wanted at all. He's trying to get a drive on Sutty now, but is Sutty going to force him to the inside? It does look that way. Emplava's now in the background as well.
Yeah, Emplava slowly catching the top guys here, or the mid-pack anyway, and Overtaker trying the outside on Sutty. As Sutty loses the rear ever so slightly, Overtaker has to react. He goes down the inside, and Sutty Apex tries to close the door, and Overtaker can't find a way through there. So Overtaker trying to find any room he can, and Neek now right on the back of Overtaker. Look at this, Neek right on the rear of the Overtaker right now.
He is indeed. Neek's going to look for the cutback, but that doesn't work. Sutty being very, very aggressive with his defence, using the duff end chop on Overtaker.
As Fury currently losing a little bit of time to Matt here. Matt starting a lap a little bit quicker than Fury now. So as Sutty's gone on the grass, and Overtaker will now get his way and get past Sutty Apex. His next target is D-Biggs, but he's lost a lot of time. He's now 5 seconds behind Biggs right now, so he's got a lot of time to catch up, as Biggs is still hassling Gary right now.
Yeah, he is indeed. Gary can't seem to break away from that Audi. He'll probably got to leg him down the pitch straight, but through the corners, the Audi's just got the measure over him. D-Biggs is just looking all over the back of him at the minute, but they've now got to be careful.
Oh, Neek and Sutty are side by side. They're having a good tussle behind us. Neek also looking to try and make a move. He did momentarily get ahead, but Emprava is hunting him down left, right, and centre here. Emprava 29.4 that last lap, so he's now hunting the leaders down. He's a little bit slower this lap, but Neek looking to the inside of Sutty Apex. Is he going to be sending it on Sutty Apex? And Sutty can't do anything about it, and Neek has gone through.
Yeah, that was a good move there from Neek, and now he's going to be under attack from Emplava.
As Cody in the chat says, Fury is in first for the race, and first in my heart, says Cody. So much love for Fury there, and he's starting to match Matt again, so starting to respond to him. But Neek able to get past Sutty Apex there.
Yeah, he's better on the brakes than Sutty.
D-Biggs has now got himself ahead of Gary there, so Gary must have made a wiggle or a mistake because he's lost time to D-Biggs here, and his next rival behind him is going to be Overtaker, and he's going to have to help Matt out as much as he possibly can here.
He is indeed. He's going to have to take the slightly apex approach.
Going to have to make that Mercedes as wide as he possibly can. The leaders ebbing and flowing between their lap times, separating each time between 2 seconds and 1.8 as Neek goes around the outside of Sutty Apex. This would be a good line, sets him up for the next part of the track, and Sutty Apex and Neek managed to go side by side through there. Emplava is going to try and get the pair of them down the inside of the next corner. That was a little bit optimistic from Emplava, and around goes Sutty Apex. Is Emplava going to sit and wait for him though? That is the question.
Yeah, Three into that corner was never going to work out. Emplava should have perhaps waited. Max has got ahead of Monkey Boy, so Max is now only 3 seconds off the back of.
Reminder, Jamie, the pit window has opened now, so the end of lap 5, they're all starting lap 6, so all these guys are opting to carry on going. Other than Peaceful.
Peaceful is the first man into the pit. And
He
I
is
think
indeed.
Argent's followed him in as well, so the two at the tail end of the field are into the pits already. Emplava got to get. Oh, I thought Gary got back past D-Biggs then, but Overtaker is about a second behind Gary, so Gary has now got to defend. Well, not quite yet, but when that Lamborghini gets right on his boot, then he's got to defend like mad.
He will indeed. The two-time champ has got Overtaker hunting him down. His brother last night going on and taking the Pro-Am Championship, so the winning streak carrying on in the Lici family. And Gary now has got a big challenge on his hands as Overtaker is hunting him down. Overtaker's last lap at 27.9. He opts to pits. Probably a good idea from Overtaker.
Yeah, it's a good idea from Overtaker. However, when he comes out, he wants to make sure he's nowhere near safe. But Nick comes into the pits as well, releasing Emplava. What about Sutty? Sutty's going to box as well. So is this Sutty trying to block Overtaker in? Has Overtaker hit the wall coming into pit lane because he was on the grass there?
Not sure there. Argent looks to things. He's got massive damage. He's able to write in the chat. That's how much damage he's got, and he's now on his way. Argent taking a while there. As also Monkey Boy comes into the pits also. So Monkey Boy's done doing his pit stop. Where is Monkey Boy on my list? There he is. As Overtaker back on his way out. We figured it out, Jamie. It's about 31 to 32 seconds in the pit lane. That's how long this pit lane actually is. Also, Monkey Boy there just in the background.
Good stop. Good stop there from Sutty, because I think he's jumped Neek. He has indeed. He's got ahead of Neek. And Neek, since Neek's been in the pit stop, him and Max's pit stops haven't been brilliant. In their pit stops, they've always seemed to lose position. So I wonder whether they put a bit of fuel in or change their tyres, because they always seem to have fairly slow pit stops.
Indeed they do, as D-Biggs and Gary are getting close again, as I think this is the closest fight on track. Gary 131 just on the back of D-Biggs. Is he going to up to pit? No, but Biggs does. He comes in. Is he going to react to Overtaker coming in early? That is the question.
Where is Overtaker? Overtaker.
He's in the wall. Overtaker's made a big mistake there, and that is it. Possibly losing out some big points, and he can't get it going again. He's struggling to get back on track, and he does so now, as Sutty Apex will be catching him again. And as he goes through McDonald's out, there is Sutty Apex right behind him, and D-Biggs will be like, well, thank you very much, I'll take that very much. And no stress from him, as Sutty Apex will be hunting him down now.
Yeah, I think there's a flash of lights there from Sutty as well, just to signal his intent. The Overtaker, even with damage, is probably still going to be quick, but he's going to have taken some life out of them tyres with two spins there. Now, is Overtaker going to come? Is he going to come back in? No, he's not going to come back in. We'll see whether Sutty starts to close the gap to 2.3. So we'll keep an eye on that. KLF is now into the pit. And has anyone else followed him? No, because everyone else below him has pitted.
So right now, your current order is Fury still leading the way at this minute. in lap 8 as he goes very wide there. Matt in second. Third is Gary 131. And in fourth place is Emperava, slowly working his way up back the order. Sixth is D Biggs. He's the first of the pitters. And in seventh is Overtaker, as Biggs there just puts a lap on his teammate. Seventh is Overtaker. And in eighth place is Sutty Apex. Ninth is Neek. 10th is Monkey Boy. And KLF is in 11th place position. He's just coming out of the pit, so he's going to have a good fight with Monkey Boy, who's not too far ahead of him. And then Argent and Peaceful. Peaceful's just jumped Kelly there, so Peaceful back in front of KLF. As Fury's got a little bit of traffic as Emperava now comes into the pit. He chooses to come into the pit on lap 8.
Yeah, so he should jump Sutty and Overtaker, I think. So Overtaker is probably going to be about 6. He's going to jump Max, I imagine, and that'll probably be about it. Where is Overtaker? Overtaker's coming into the last corner. He's all over the gravel, but he's still pulled gap over Sutty. Where's Emperava?
Is going to come off the limiter right now. He should be able to stay ahead of Overtaker here. So Emperava has jumped Overtaker because obviously 13 cars starting, top 7, I think will not be able to qualify. I've got to double check the rules and regulations here, but here comes Emperava shooting out the pits.
Yeah, he's got about 2 second gap to overtake. But Overtaker's going to have the bit between his teeth now to try and get past. The only person he'll be able to get past in the pit stops looks to be Max.
Indeed, it should be, but just double checking the rules and regulations for the top half. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it will be top 7.
Yeah, it is. It's top 7.
Either way, Fury still in control of this race, and Matt not able really to catch him at this minute. So Fury really seems to have the upper hand over Matt at the minute. As I say that, Fury's a little bit slower that lap. Oh, I say that, it goes back up to 2.4. So the times are ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, I was about to say there, ebbing and flowing. Peaceful on the back of his teammate now for place in the top 10. Peaceful, who's not had a brilliant opening to his night, but Monkey Boy goes wide. Is Peaceful going to have a look up the inside? Not quite. Is anyone, the top 2, going to box? Neither of the top 2 box. They've just come through the final corner now. As
just read it here, the top 4, so 14 or 13 starters, top 7 cannot qualify. So at this rate, it'll be Fury, Matt, Gary, Max, D-Biggs, Emperava, and Overtaker. As Peaceful and Monkey Boy come together, and the teammates have hit each other. Simplay Racing, just like Matt and Gary, just like Sutty and Kelly, just like D-Biggs and myself, just like, more importantly, Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. They have come together, and the Ferrari duo, they better not be doing that next week as they head to Italy to the Tifosi, as Overtaker now hunting down Emperava. Can he find a way past the Latvian?
And as well, and like Leclerc and Vettel.
Indeed, and Gary now comes to the pit on lap 10, so we're still waiting on Matt, Fury and Max as well, all still yet to pit as Max runs very wide onto the gravel there. Can he get it back on track? Yes, he does. In the background, I believe Emperava has got a lot of pressure of Overtaker right behind him. He's hunting him down lap for lap here. Can he find a way past? And Overtaker's going to struggle into turn 1 because obviously that Mercedes is going to have the ground down to turn 1. And that advantage of cornering is just going to go out the window. More importantly, Max, if he's keep allowing these two to battle, Max should be able to jump the pair of them if these two battle too hard.
Yeah, he should be able to. He's got a decent gap over the pair. It all depends how hard.
Gary's had a long pit stop. Gary's had a very long pit stop.
He's still there. He must have, and he's away now, so he's actually lost a position to.
He's lost a lot. He's lost to D-Biggs, Emperava, and Overtaker. So what? He's now lost out to Sutty, and he's going to lose out to Neek. What has happened to Gary 131 there?
Yeah, that's not a brilliant stop there from Gary. Hopefully he can fight his way back with Max now into the pits.
Matt on lap 11 into the pits. Has he left the radiator open and had to repair the engine? That is the question. Overtaker right on the rear bumper of Emperava right now. And Emperava is not one to crack in and making mistakes, as Overtaker just has a snap on the rear. It just seems a bit unstable behind another car, that Lamborghini.
He does it. He does indeed, and he just, as well. He just looks like he's trying to push the car too hard as well, just to make sure to get some points back. As Matt is on his way, so he's had a very good stop compared to his teammate. He's actually going to come out ahead of Max, but Max has still got a pit. Overtaker is now past Emplava, so I think Emplava's made a mistake somewhere, so Overtaker is now into 5th, and Overtaker has now got a 10-second gap to D-Bix. But is Emplava going to come back at him? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think Emplava has the pace to really stick with Overtaker, but if Overtaker makes a mistake, is that D-Bix? Was that D-Bix slow in turn 1? No, it was Argent, sorry, It was Argent. Sorry, I saw a Hot Wheels Audi just facing the wrong way, and it was Argent there. So Argent obviously got going again. Overtaker will catch on to the back of him, as I think we were looking at, yeah, it's Nick starting to hunt down Sati Apex again.
Yeah, Sati, I think he needed to go on the wheel because he is struggling at the minute.
I did tell him. But he chose not to listen to me, as now Emplava just, again, he still see Overtaker, but Overtaker just out of reach. We're still waiting for Fury and Max coming to the pits. Lap 16 is the last chance that they can pit, as Sati there, Sati really loose on the rear end there. So Neek looking really close there now as they come to McDonald chicane. Can he get the job done on the exit, as Nick being very patient and very kind on the track limits, and Max is into the pits.
Yeah, where's he going to come out in relation to these and to Overtaker? I think Overtaker's probably going to get ahead of him. It all depends on how quick his pit stop is. Max hasn't even gotten into the pit lane yet, and Overtaker is he's overtaken Argent, so Max is going to lose out to Overtaker. What about Emplava as well? I think he's probably going to lose out to his teammate as well, so he might even lose out. He might lose out to Gary as well.
Possibly so, even though Gary had a poor pit stop as well. We're not sure why, as Max has got going again. But Nick right now is still looking to find a way past on Sati Apex. Can't seem to find a way through at the minute, as Fury finally pits on lap 13.
Yeah, he does indeed, so it'd be interesting to see what the gap is between him and Matt. Nick very good through this section. It's sector 3 where I think where Sati's better than him. Nick thinks better of it than having. He had a little look. He's got Gary 3.9 behind, and I think his teammate isn't far behind either. No, he's just round the other side of that straight.
I just wanted to say, Neek is just he seems a lot more calmer than his teammate Max. Max is a very bit more Larry, aggressive driver. Neek, on the other hand, he's so smooth and patient. You can see him taking it easy on the Audi. He's just even feathering the throttle through nicely there, and he's able to just stick to the back of the Lamborghini with Sati Apex, even in the dirty air.
Yeah, I think Nick must be caressing that Audi. As he's driving it, he's giving the steering wheel a stroke as he drives around a bit like Sebastian Vettel when he used to drive for Red Bull, but he used to talk to the car.
He's definitely not looking to his Aston Martin at the minute, is he? As Neek trying to find every bit of track limits that he can possibly get to try and find a way past Sati Apex. But Sati Apex not phased whatsoever here. Both of these two at the minute in the top 7. They will not be able to qualify for the next race. Gary at the minute is just outside that, and he will be able to qualify. As we just start lap 14 here for these guys. And right at the minute, this is your only fight out on track, and typical Oscherslaben, the track just kind of strings out, and it's all about a mental game here. Who can stay on track and keep it smooth and clean as Neek goes wide?
He does indeed. He's lost a couple of tenths to Sati. Gary's lost a bit of time as well to the pair of them, and he could soon have Max on the back. Piesel's only a second now behind KLF as well.
The man who's lost a bit of time as well is Matt. He's also lost a lot of time to Fury. It was 2 seconds. It's now 5.6. So Fury is extending that lead. And we said the Mercedes wasn't going to be very good here. And it's currently a Mercedes 1-2 at this stage. With the Audi, as we said, would have been very strong here and is currently in P3. Also, just want to note as well, D-Bix is able to just manage that gap between him and Overtaker. Overtaker really not taking that amount of time out of D-Bix at the minute.
Yeah.
He's only finding a couple of tenths here and there.
No, he's not. I think that damage is definitely part of the reason. His gap is about 8.5, but he's just not bringing it down. Overtaker
also, this is going to be an interesting fight. KLF and Peaceful Explosion were close to one another. I think Peaceful's at a moment. Yes, he has. And he's going to let Fury through. So Peaceful Explosion was right on the back of Kelly, and it looks like he's got damage to the front end of that Ferrari. And once again, the Ferrari boys will not be happy with this one. And Peaceful just he can't seem to gel with the car at the minute. As soon as he gets comfortable with the Ferrari, he then gets more comfortable in the as Arjun comes back on track, and he comes right in the middle of a fight here between Neek and Sutty. Neek again just gets close to the back of Sutty Apex, but he can't find a way through.
Yeah, he was about to have a look. It was actually, I think it was about to have a look around the outside there, but Arjun was just in the way. No fault of Arjun. But Neek probably won't be too happy, but say he's got a few more laps to have a go. Matt and Fury just balancing the gap between each other at the minute. I think Matt is happy for second, and I think Fury is definitely going to be happy for the win. So Fury's not pushing the car. Overtaker definitely pushing to try and catch D Biggs. The gap is about 7 seconds, and if he keeps at this pace, he might be on the back of him come the end of the race.
I think it's 53 points to have a comfortable gap going into the final race at Monza, as Matt will be trying everything he possibly can to try and outscore Overtaker here and make his life a lot easier at Monza. But Neek now still can't find a way past Sutty Apex. Your only fight, but as these two are fighting, Gary 131 just chipping at them ever so slightly. You just see him in the background there. You can just see the two fighting at the minute. Sutty at 29.4, Neek 29.8, Matt and Gary just matching them, so he's not able to catch them this lap. But a good little fight between these two for sure.
Yeah, very good little fight between these two. They haven't always. Neek got a bit of a slide coming through that corner. Yeah, Neek's just not close enough to make a mistake, or not close enough to have a proper go. It's close enough that if Sutty makes a mistake, he's going to be right on his heels.
D-Biggs. As D-Biggs is now starting to lose that time to Overtaker. Overtaker's last lap at 27.9. He is trying to hunt him down as quickly as he possibly can. And Overtaker might run out of time if he keeps lapping. Similar to what he's doing now, he might be able to catch him near the end of this race. But Neek now looking like he's got a great run through that section. Can he get a decent run out of this right-hander and try and send it up the inside of Sutty Apex? He's not quite close enough to do it here. But hopefully turn one, he can get it nice and smooth through the final sector and send it into turn one.
Yeah, he's having a look. Neek also up on his fastest lap as well. So ever improving with every lap he does here at Simplay, and hopefully he'll come back for next season. Him and Max, he gets very close. He can probably smell the one beer that Sutty had that he probably couldn't hold down.
As we see here, Sutty Apex having to go defensive here. Neek's had a great lap here, 29.0. He's going to send it into turn one. Sutty Apex, though, is going to hold the inside, but Sutty's gone a little bit deep. Neek looks like he's trying to get the undercut on him. He's going to have the inside. Sutty Apex going to have to hang it wide, and Neek gets the job done down the inside. Robbins racing, and he gets the job done. Sutty Apex is now been passed by Neek. Is Sutty going to send it back on him into the hairpin? He's going to try and do so as Neek gives him plenty of space. He runs out wide, and Sutty Apex will continue the position, and Neek will have to stay behind the back of that Autosport Prolapse Lamborghini once again.
Yeah, he'll have to try again, but so it's a very good race in between these two at the minute. Overtaker is now about 5 seconds behind D-Biggs, but he's got 5 laps left. That is one thing catching, another thing to overtake, and Peaceful is right on the back of Kelly again. He's a second off the back, and there's Matt coming to lap them, so Peace is probably going to get out the way. Turn one, no, he's not.
Matt's not really quite close enough yet for Peaceful to get out of the way, and again, it's not really, he doesn't have to get out of the way. He can hold Matt up if he really wants to, but at the minute, he's got his own little fight with KLF, and this is probably the last thing Matt wants to see, as Neek's just lost a little bit more time to Sutty Apex here, and I also started learning a little bit of characteristics from the Lamborghini. It seems to not be very good in the dirty air. Obviously, Overtaker seems to struggle on the back of other cars, but as soon as he has clear air, he's relatively comfortable.
Yeah, it does seem that way. You see, like Neek has
Sutty.
Yeah, Neek's been able to stick to the back of Sutty for a lap after lap, so that Audi must be very good with the clean out. I think Kelly's made a mistake. He has, because he's lost out to Peter by about 4 seconds. So Kelly, unfortunately for KLF, he's down into 11th, and Peter has now broken into the top 10, and he lets Matt through. The gap between Matt and Fury now is 6 seconds. Sorry.
Fury's really been monitoring that pace lap after lap. As Overtaker sounds like he's gone very wide there. Nope, he's still on track. He's still bringing that gap down to D-Biggs. 27.7 that last lap. He is hunting him down. Can he bring that gap down to D-Biggs and try and get himself back on the podium? Stop Matt gaining more points on him at this rate. But D-Biggs will be happy to hold on to that podium if he possibly can.
Oh, he's pushing very hard to try and catch D-Biggs, even resorting to a bit of rallycross.
He does run wide. Does he improve on a 27.7? That's the question. No, he doesn't. He stays a little bit slower than that. So, Biggs, though, keeping it clean and consistent and on track, which he needs to do. Neek, once again, still on the back of Sutty Apex and probably getting sick to death at the back of that car.
Yeah, he probably is, but I think Sutty's just pulling a little bit now, because I think Neek's had his one opportunity, and Sutty's now decided to or he's found where his right foot is, or no, he's made a mistake there, or because he's on the controller, he's found where his right hand is and decided to press the throttle.
Indeed. There's Neek still. Like I said, he by the end of this race, he's going to have a photographic memory of the back of that Lamborghini for lap after lap. And I've got to credit these two. They've been putting on a great fight here. As Fury seems to... No, Fury just... I thought he lost a lot of time there, but it's the way the lap times are running at the minute. But both of these guys in the 29s at the minute. Everyone just seems to be losing pace a little bit. Are the tyres starting to go?
Yeah, or if they just backed it off a touch, just so they don't spin Fury back in the 28, and Matt in the 28s as well. So I think it was probably just an off lap to the pair of them. And D-Biggs, there's Overtaker in the background. I think that's Kelly there coming to that. Kelly gets right out of the way. Yeah, he gets right out of the way. Will he get right out of the way for Overtaker? Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. So Overtaker's got nothing to complain about this time with Kelly, because Overtaker's not been happy at times with when he's been to that Kelly, but he's got nothing to complain about this time.
Definitely not. As we see here, Neek's closer than ever to the back of Sutty Apex. So Neek looking to the inside, and then Sutty's defended his line. There's just about cars with fair. Neek going to try. He's going to go back to the outside again. So Sutty gave the option. Sutty gone deep, and Neek's going to try that line again. He goes for the undercut. He's back underneath again. Round 2 for these two, and Sutty Apex a little bit more turning. He doesn't quite get the job done. And he get hook up behind the outside as well, and he's not able to quite get alongside Neek this time. Neek once again gives him the space in the hairpin, and Neek I think might be able to hold this out. No, Sutty Apex is there. He's run wide, and Sutty Apex once again going into the triple is side by side with Neek.
Yeah, Neek's got to try third time lucky, but Overtaker is slowly has managed to get his way onto the back of D-Biggs. Now it's 7/10. I think it's going to be a matter of time before that orange and black Lamborghini is in to the podium position. But Overtaker pushing so hard.
He is indeed, and at the minute, Fury nearly into the 27s here. He's really enjoying this race at the minute, way out in front, comfortable as you like. Overtaking now is one thing, catching is another thing to overtake, as he's now caught the back of D-Biggs, as Neek and Sutty are still going at it. They've come together, and I think Neek has possibly hit him. That's going to give Gary the position, and goes through Gary. Neek, on the other hand, is he going to wait for Sutty and allow him through? No, he's not. He's going to carry on through. So what has happened there?
Yeah. Yeah, they look to be side by side, and Overtaker's done D-Biggs. But D-Biggs runs Overtaker wide. Overtaker keeps his foot straight in, and I think he's going to have the job done. He has. He's kept his foot in. He's kept his foot planted and got the job done. Is D-Biggs going to come back? Nope. And Overtaker is now onto the podium, which isn't what Matt will see, but he's still outscoring him, and he's definitely not going to catch Matt, the gap's 13
Sutty's got past
seconds.
Neek again, so Sutty has managed to get past Neek. So as Neek allowed him back through, that is the question. And I'll have to note that they did change positions, but I don't know if that was like given to him. But meanwhile, Fury still leading this race quite comfortably here. But Biggs is on the back of Overtaker still. So if Overtaker makes a mistake, Biggs is able to attack.
Yeah, there's only 2 laps left as Fury has started his penultimate lap, and it's been a brilliant drive from Fury.
It's been an absolute breeze for him so far, as Gary 131 is going to have now Sutty Apex and Neek hunting him down as Max pretty much straight lines the McDonald chicane. Gary's under pressure here from Sutty Apex and Neek here, as Sutty's looking to the inside as he quite get the job done there. Oh, Sutty's gone round.
Yeah, I think Sutty was going round, and I think Neek has just helped him along a little bit, and that actually gives his teammate Max 8th place.
It does indeed. D-Big still within touching distance of Overtaker at the minute. He's still there, so if Overtaker still makes that mistake, he's able to pounce as Neek crosses the line and stays in P7 at the minute. Sutty Apex though down in 9th. The happy thing for Sutty though, he can qualify. Gary now can't because he's up in the top 6, but it will help Jaeger Motorsport gain points as Arjun has another pirouette into turn 1. He manages just to hang on to it as Max is just behind him also.
Yeah, Arjun really doesn't enjoy this track. He's been struggling. I don't know how much.
Fury's had a moment. Fury's had a moment. Look at the lap times. It's now 1.3. We're on the penultimate lap here. He now starts his final lap. There is Matt. So Fury's made a mistake somewhere right towards the end of this race. He just needs to hang on to the final lap here. Fury, CBK, he nearly made a mistake here of losing this race, but Matt's right there to pounce. Also, Overtaker still hasn't dropped D-Biggs. D-Biggs is still there just in case anything happens. So, top 3 can still change massively here. It's Fury. It's trying to hang in there for the last couple of laps here. Oh, what an exciting end. Can Fury just hang on here as Matt's trying to hunt him down?
Yeah, I was about to say, is it because Fury's fuel? But they're on roughly the same fuel. Fury. Oh,
Matt's gone wide.
Matt's gone wide. He comes back on, but he's lost. So he's lost time to Fury, and I think Fury, unless he makes a mistake, has got this one now. He's got to keep it on the black stuff.
He does indeed. Fury, CBK, he's the man who's been trying to hunt down the most race wins here. I extended the gap the other night here in the F2s, and he gets a little bit closer as he adds another one to the tally. Fury towards the final few corners now, and a race winner I really didn't expect here for this first one as Fury comes into the final corner now. That's going to make it win number 32. Fury CBK wins here at Oscherslaben. Matt will take the 2nd place. Is Overtaker going to hang on for 3rd place? He will do so. Overtaker into the final corner. He keeps his championship hopes alive as he comes towards the now. Overtaker will take P3, a recovery drive from him as D-Biggs now currently P4, and look at all this mess here. Max, Sutty versus Neek as well, and Sutty's trying to find his way through. He's managed to do so. Sutty Apex, they just come together. Max loses out. Look at this squabble as Neek now comes up the inside of Max.
Yeah, they are. This is all boiling down to the final corner.
The teammates to hit each other.
The 2 teammates have made contact. Neek comes back on and stays ahead. There's
Emplava finishes 5th. Gary 6th as Monkey Boy also across the line as Sutty Apex comes in 7th, and he will not be able to qualify for the next race as Neek will be able to. And look at that. Great fight towards the end there as Gary manages to head out of those and Sutty Apex, but it is Fury who takes the win here for the first round as well, and I think fastest lap go to Fury.
Yeah, Fury fastest lap with a 27.5.
Wow, what a lap time there from Fury. He has taken a grand slam there in the race. Not quite pole position, now went to Overtaker, but Fury is your race winner. In 2nd place is Matimovic, 3rd is Overtaker, 4th is Biggs, 5th is Emplava, 6th is Gary, 7th is Sutty Apex, 8th is Neek, and he'll be able to qualify for the next one, as will Max, Peaceful Explosion, KLF, Monkey Boy and Argent as well. Make sure you tune in a moment's time, grab a drink, and we'll be back momentarily for the second race.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. down the days, counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. just counting down the.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport. We've just had race 1 over and done with, and Fury taking a race win there. And I forgot to check if the table was updated. I'm pretty sure they had been, because Matt's usually on the ball with that stuff. Because he always wants to know what the points are looking like. We'll just hit refresh at the minute, but we do have the top 3 in with us at the minute as well. Overtaker, a good recovery back up to P3, Matt in P2, and also the guys who can't qualify for this race is Fury, Matt, Biggs, Overtaker, Emperava, Sati Apex, and also Gary131. My laptop is taking an age to refresh, and here it is. It's Matahimovic who still leads the way. He's got a 25-point gap over the Overtaker in second place. Fury is in P3, still hanging on there by the skin of his teeth for this championship, but he's slowly just working his way out. He's still mathematically in it. 26 points. He will lose to, if he loses to Matt, he will be out of the championship. P4 is Gary131 and P5 is Peaceful Explosion. Not much has changed there. D-Biggs also still in P6 goes D-Biggs, sorry, as the tables haven't quite updated themselves properly. I'm trying to figure them out myself. Sati Apex currently in P7. P8 still Emperava, P9 still Smoky Devil, P10 KLF 900, and also P11 is Andy, P12 Mazda, P13 is Gary, Emo Guy, P14 is Argent, P15 is Monkey Boy, 16 is Max, 17 is Neek, and 18 is Disco. The teams, on the other hand, Teletubby Motorsport are now unable to win the Constructors' Championship here tonight, and also Jaeger Motorsport just needs to outscore Silence of the Lambos to be considered Constructors Champion here tonight. Can Overtaker keep Silence of the Lambos in it to the very end? P4 is Smoking Hot Racing, and P5 is Audio Sport Prolapse. P6 is Pushing and Limits Racing, and P7 is Simplay Racing. P8 Slingshot Motorsport and Sneaker Academy bringing up the rear in P9. And we'll start with Overtaker. And Overtaker, you just briefly told us in the chat that tyre pressures were your issues. They were way too high and they were ballooning up. So a real struggle for you in race 1.
Yeah, I forget to change it from quali runs to race runs, and I knew straight when the lights are off that I hadn't any grip, so I managed to get P3, which is a nice achievement, but it was super frustrating because I knew I haven't made this mistake, it would be much closer with the front two.
Yeah, possibly. So obviously coming here to this circuit, we said that the Lamborghini should have the advantage here. Obviously, if you hadn't had that pressure issue, do you think you would have had the advantage to take the win here? And obviously, with that advantage with the Lamborghini, can you take it into race 2?
Well, you never know, but for sure it was impossible to drive. Every corner I was sliding left and right, so with the right tire pressure, we'll see.
25 points now behind Matt in the championship. Obviously another chance here to outscore him on this circuit. Then we head to Monza next week, a circuit that should benefit the Mercedes a little bit more, but surely you just got to go full attack now for the rest of the season.
Well, he's a tough cookie. He rarely makes mistakes, so I'm gonna try for P1 and let's see what's gonna happen.
You are going to be starting, I think it's going to be near mid-pack. I think it's going to be around P10 for this one. What can you do from there? Tight pit lane, start straight as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get clear air, and that's the plan.
Well, best of luck for race 2, buddy.
Cheers.
As we move on to your P2 man, and Matt, oh so close at the end. Fury making that last mistake just at the end, but nonetheless very good points for yourself, and you managed to outscore Overtaker as well, which you needed to do on a circuit that should have benefited him.
Yeah, and it was a crazy race, to be fair, mate, because got a good start and Overtaker covered that one off, but then left the door open for Fury, got alongside eventually, and you know, just managed to stay in front. He then made a mistake at turn 1 on the second lap, which allowed Biggs and Gary through, and from there it really sort of helped me, because then I was less focused on Overtaker in my mirror and more focused on Fury in front. From what I gather, I know Fury's fastest lap was like half second quicker than mine, but for majority of that race I feel like me and Fury lapped a very similar pace, because at one stage he'd pull a couple of seconds and I'd gain, and the gap sort of stayed as it was.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously Fury is still mathematically in it. He's just keeping himself just in it, but obviously your main focus is going to be Overtaker. Both you and Fury have made me eat my own words, as me saying it's not Mercedes circuit, and you go take a 1-2. But how was the Mercedes here?
I said it last night with you, Dan. So, you know, I've got my own words as well. But the Mercedes was a bit of a handful at times, but, you know, it felt nice. I felt nice in it. It felt all right. You know, we saw with Holty last night. He did a good job. And, you know, these Teletubby boys must have had their heads screwed on this week because Holty looked good in it. Fury's looked good in it this week. Tinky Winky and Lala. But no, my mate felt nice. Gary said it felt all right, bar 1 or 2 corners. Bless Gary, probably could have had that podium maybe from Overtaker or at least a 4th, but I'd sort the little one out, bless her. So that's why his pit stop was so long. But no, the Mercedes feels good. Feels all right.
Obviously, you and Gary go into this final race possibly winning constructors here. You both need to just outscore by 18 points over Overtaker, really. No email guide to help that out. So is that on your mind at the minute, or is it more focused on just trying to score good points?
I think, and this, without trying to sound too cocky, I think that the constructors is pretty much wrapped up, without trying to sound overconfident. Whether it's today, whether it's next week, I think my focus now has to be on hunting Overtaker, because as again the game adores me and has put me dead last, so I've got to concentrate this race on getting to Overtaker and Fury, because you know, if I finish a couple of places behind them, Fury's back in it, and Overtaker closes that gap again. So I've got to fully focus on Overtaker, and the constructors. I think it's a case of now it comes when it comes. It's a case of when, not if.
Yeah, definitely so, and we'll let Liam decide if you're copy or not. But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on P2.
Cheers,
and
boys.
I'll let you get back to your party.
Well done to Fury and Overtaker as well.
As we do move on to your race winner, which is Fury, and it's been a while, Fury, and on a circuit that you probably didn't really expect the win to, but nonetheless, congratulations on that. How does that one feel?
It's a bit of a surprise, not gonna lie. Keeping the Mercedes in check and making you eat your own words was pretty funny.
Nonetheless, that is now race win number 32, still 8 behind myself, but nonetheless, on a circuit, like I said, you didn't expect. How was your Mercedes feeling at this circuit? Because like I said, chassis circuit not really favoured the Mercedes, but nonetheless, a win for yourself, and Mercedes must have been feeling good.
It felt actually surprisingly really well put to the floor, even though there's like no downforce on it. But I mean, it just felt grippy, and I'm not sure if it's because of the track heat or what, but it just felt good in overall.
Yeah. Currently 55 points behind. There's 81 still available in the championship. And if Matt outscores you by 26 points, that is pretty much the championship over. But nonetheless, same mindset. Go out, go as fast as you can and try and take the win.
Yeah, got to try and keep myself in it as much as possible.
Well, you will be starting P7, so you get a little bit of advantage there. What can you do from that point?
Just got to hopefully get the same start I did last race and get away from Overtaker and Matt and get as many points as I can, keep myself in this.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the win, and we'll let you get back to your party.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. As Jamie, 3 relatively happy drivers there. Overtaker with that big mistake of over pressurizing his tyres there. That's what was giving him the issue in race 1. But nonetheless, we should be able to see a fast Overtaker in race 2 then, if he managed to get his pressure sorted.
Yeah, so he's just got to come from 9th on the grid. So yeah, this race might be flipped on its head. But at the minute we've got Neek on pole position. Who have we got coming to the final corner? It's Kelly. Yeah, we've got Neek on pole position from Peaceful Argent, Max Mulder, KLF, Monkey Boy, and then it's the non-qualifiers. So I think Neek's on for his second pole position, is he not? Oh, and we lost Kelly.
Well, I lost him altogether. Hopefully he should be able to get back into the session. As,
he's disconnected.
Oh, that is not like Kelly. Should be able to get back in as Peaceful then goes back at the top of the table there. So,
yeah, Peaceful goes on to pole position. Neek is going to be the next man to cross the line, but I think he's on an outlap. He is on an outlap. There's a car coming down the back straight. Who is that? Sutty. KLF. Kelly's now back in. So Kelly, I think, might be starting last. We've lost someone else. We've just lost Sutty, I think.
Oh, it's these guys just losing connections here. We start getting a mass disconnection. We'll have to restart the lobby. But at the minute, we've only lost Kelly. Kelly's back in. Can he get back into the session? That's the question. Sati Apex also should be able to get back in. There's a couple of seconds left, so they should be able to just get in. But nonetheless, that's not going to help him out here. Kelly will be starting near the back then. He's disconnected again.
Yeah, we've lost. I think we've lost the two audios.
As Matt's telling me a problem, Dan, problem. I'm not sure exactly what is going on here, but nonetheless, we might have to change the lobby here because looks like lobby bug, says Matt. So looks like we're going to have to go to a break and just change. Just go to a break a minute and get into a formation here, as we will be back with you in a moment's time. Jamie, are you still in the lobby?
Mm-hmm.
Just take a photo or a screenshot with the grid order, or in your mind what the order is. And then send it to me.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could it. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street or at the end, so I could show you. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Hey.
lap, so that instead of pit window being lap 5 to lap 16 is now lap 6 to the end of lap 17. So that's the window they have to come in. And the grid order will look like this. It will be Peaceful Explosion on pole position with Neek in second. Third will be Argent. Fourth is Max. Fifth will be KLF. Sixth will be Monkey Boy. Seventh will be Fury. Eighth will be Sutty Apex. Ninth is Overtaker. 10th is Gary. 11th is Emprava. 12th is D-Biggs, and Matt bringing up the rear in 13th place position. And obviously a rolling start for these guys. So Peaceful will control the pace as they come around for the first lap, and the race will start as soon as Peaceful either chooses to go in the final corner or up to the start finish line. And Jamie, this is really going to change the order of things. Once again, they're going to have to do a formation lap. They're going to have to do a lap to get themselves prepared and ready to go. And sometimes it gets into people's heads.
It does indeed, and as well, it sometimes cools the tyres down. I don't think today, with it being that cold, that the tyres are gonna cool down that much, as the lights come on and they get underway. So they should be getting into their grid position. So it should be Peaceful at the front, and Peaceful is right there, ready to come through to the front.
Another reminder of the grid order. It will be Peaceful Explosion on pole position. Then we should have Neek coming up into second place. So where is Neek currently on track? As you find him, he is
fifth.
He is working his way through the order as we speak. Then it should be Argent right behind him, and Argent I think is near enough there. He's in P2 at the minute. So KLF will also just drop behind Max, who Max will start in P4. Peaceful doing a good job there, just keeping the pace under control. So Peaceful, Neek, Argent. Then we should have Max between Argent and KLF, which we do. KLF actually just needs to drop behind Max ever so slightly. There we go. KLF in fifth. Monkey Boy will start in sixth place position. Then we should have Fury. Then we should have Sutty Apex. Then Overtaker, Gary 131, Emprava, and then D-Biggs and Matahimovic as well. So these guys have managed to get that underway. Matt's got a lot to do here, and obviously by the time Peaceful gets to turn one, Matt will still be coming down the mid straight. So Matt's got a lot of work to do, especially at the back of the pack. Peaceful now can just speed up a little bit so we can get this race underway. But predictions for race winner at the minute has gone up, and at the minute 4 votes, and it's half and half between Fury and Peaceful Explosion here. But Jamie, now we've got a rolling start. Who do you think is going to take the win here?
I'm going to say Fury. He's still quite far forward, even to Welshie in the chat as well. I'm going to say. I'm going to say Fury. He had really good pace in that first race. There's a bit of a gap between Fury and Sutty, so Sutty needs to close up, which I think he is now.
As all these guys just keep their tyres up temperature. This also helps them save fuel a little bit as they're rolling round. But Peaceful is on pole position. I'm going to say Overtaker for this one. I think he's now going to sort his tyre pressure out. He's going to be able to come back at this. So Peaceful now, he will back the pack right up as he comes into the final corner and towards the start finish line. And he can choose when he wants to go from then onwards. None of the guys can overtake until they get to the start finish line as they come now to the final corner now. And it is Peaceful Explosion who's going to choose when he wants to go, and he's going to leave it to the very last minute here. And we're green here. Peaceful has gone, and we are green here, and it looks like Arjun not with the best start, and already Max is on the attack as we head to turn one. Max already passing Arjun as he goes into turn one, and Fury with a decent start as well, but obviously starting near the front as Arjun's gone very deep, and off he goes.
Yeah, Arjun outbraked himself, and that's
Sutty Apex.
Sutty's ran. Overtaker's had a good start, Fury's had a good start. Matt has gained a position on his teammate, so his teammates dropped down a few positions. Emplava hang out to his right on the outside. Max is up into third, but Peaceful is away with Neek in second. Max in third. Arjun, after his excursion to travel, in fourth. KLF in fifth, and Fury in sixth already, looking for a way past.
Fury, already on his way through. He's now got KLF, who's one of the more difficult guys to get past. There's Monkey Boy now defending from Overtaker. Overtaker's going to go right round the outside, but he's not quite going to be able to do it as Monkey Boy just pushes him off track there as they head to McDonald chicane, and KLF is the cork in the bottle here, and Overtaker still trying to find a way past that Ferrari, but unable to do so. There is a car facing the wrong way. I think that's Max. He's dropped right to the back of the pack.
He has indeed. Overtaker still trying to get past that Ferrari, and then as he outbraked himself, he goes straight into the gravel, and he has to give that position. D-Biggs also
D-Biggs also in the background. He obviously does give the position back. He actually lost more time to Monkey Boy. And Sutty Apex introduces himself. He says, hello, I'm here to have fun as well. Down the inside, Fury's gone wide and lost places.
He has indeed. Where's Matt? He's in 10th. Gary and D-Biggs doing battle further back. See Max in the background, but Sutty up on 6th.
KLF is really the cook in the bottle as Argent once again has missed the first corner, and Sutty Apex now helping his teammate out here. Audio Sport Pro Labs here as Sutty Apex is now on the back of his teammate, but he's holding everyone else up. Fury's looking to make a move. Overtake is there as well. Also is Monkey Boy, and Matt is now looking on the outside of Monkey Boy. And Overtaker tries to go around the outside of Fury, but can't find a way through. Meanwhile, Peaceful and Neek have disappeared. They're 5 seconds down the road from Argent.
They are.
Oh, Peaceful's gone round.
Peaceful spun. So that gives Neek the lead, and it's Argent now. Is Argent going to be P2? No, Peaceful's still P2, but Sutty leading. No, he's still got KLF at the front, but Matt is now right behind Overtaker. So Overtaker going to get a bit more desperate to try and make some moves.
Look at all these cars. I think that's a rolling start. Actually called it. What? Overtaker's gone round. He's touched the curb and he's made a mistake and he's gone to the back of the pack. Has he lost out to Max as well? Yes. So Overtaker at the back of the pack now as KLF still holding up this pack.
Yeah, you just want a KLF at the front of your pack, but I think Kelly's going to run it a little bit wide here. He does indeed goes into the gravel, and Sutty looks up the inside and he spins, and Fury gives him a little bit of a tap.
Fury has spun KLF round. I think that's more Kelly's fault. Obviously going wide, coming back on track, and then losing the car as he comes back on track. Monkey Boy's had a spin as well. So those two drop 2 at the back of the pack. And now Matt's going to attack Fury, but Fury thinks better of it. He thinks that Matt will not be able to dive down the inside. And Bravas will ride on the back of these two as well.
Yeah, Matt launching himself over the curbs there. But at the minute, it's Neek with a 2 second advantage at the minute to Peaceful in 2nd, Argent in 3rd. All
it to do at the minute for the Overtaker. He's currently P11. He's got past KLF and Monkey Boy. Matt, on the other hand, and Fury are stuck behind Sutty Apex, which is allowing the top 3 to just start to get away a little bit. And Sutty seemed to be struggling for pace earlier on in race 1, and he seems to be doing so again.
Overtaker's also another position. He's also positioned to Kelly.
Oh, Overtaker hits the back of Kelly there. Kelly manages to keep it going, so no loss there for Kelly, and Overtaker probably a little damage on the rear, and he's hit Kelly again. I think Overtaker's a little bit desperate to get through. He has to remember that Kelly's hasn't got the skill that Overtaker has, not to put Kelly down at all, but especially in this car. Let's be honest, this car is more for Overtaker. Kelly's still new to this car. Still the whole season he struggled with it. It sounds like a car is off just ahead of him. That is Max again. And Overtaker can't find a way past Kelly right now. And this is really holding up his run to try and get to the top. And he's finally got him. Yeah, finally got him. But Kelly has a look up the inside. And I think that might have been a little bit of retaliation from all the taps that Kelly received. Let's go back to the front. Fury still unable to try and find a way past Sutty Apex at the minute. And like I said, at the minute, with all these guys still behind Sutty, they're unable to catch Neek nor Peaceful at the minute. And Neek is setting some good lap times at the minute. 28.7 at the minute. He's way out in front and it's got it nice and comfortable at the minute. Can we get a first race winner here of Neek? That is the question. And guys, there's still the votes open for the race win. I didn't really put Neek. I did put Neek in the chat, so if you think Neek's going to win this race, then get your votes in, because he's currently leading at the minute with Peaceful just behind him, 2.4 seconds behind. We've also Argent, who's another near enough 5 seconds behind in P3. But right now, Neek doing everything right as they now come to the end of lap 5. It's the end of lap 6. It's the new pit window after we've had an extra lap here at Oscherslaben. Yeah, Fury right on the back. Oh, we had a little bit of a wiggle coming through the chicane. And Overtaker has done Max. I think Max has gone. Yeah, Max has gone off, and he's now going to lose the position to Monkey Boy. So Max goes to the back of the field. He does indeed. And Prava trying to. He's having a bit of deja vu at the minute, getting on the back of Matahimovic. Can he find a way past it? Obviously, no Acura, no Audi this time, both in the same machine, and both probably running similar setups as well. So at the minute, It's a Mercedes quad trio right now with Fury, Matt, Emperava and Gary all in 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place position, with D-Biggs right on the back of that train as well. But it's all being held up by the Lamborghini of Sutty Apex.
Yeah, it is an Overtaker. It's just on the fastest lap. Max is coming to the pits.
He's coming a lap early by the looks of things, so after putting it on the chat as well. So Max is in a pit early, so we have to come in again. So Sutty Apex still the cork in the bottle for these guys, and again, they just have to be patient here. There's no real opportunity to overtake, and they need to have a decent run to even have an opportunity to try and get past the car in front.
Yeah, you just got to wait for that little mistake, or just sit there and try and get them on the strategy. Matt's closing in on Fury now. He looked a bit wayward at the end of last lap. The car looked very slidey, but he seems to got it all under control now. It looks more stable. He's just managed to gap Emperava.
With everyone in this train at the minute not able to produce the lap times that they would normally do, obviously
there's a car off. It's Emperava.
Emperava's made that mistake. He's going to drop down the order. So what I was saying, Jamie, obviously they're in a train behind a slower car. Obviously they're all lapping slightly slower than what they did in the first race. So they're all just having to try and push away where they don't get caught. Sutty's gone deep into turn 1 there. That's going to opportunity for Fury to come down the inside as Emperava and D-Biggs comes in at the correct pit window.
Yeah, they do. Matt is right on the back of Fury because Fury had a poor run. Matt looking up the inside, not getting it done, just trying to be a little bit patient.
Indeed, he is, and Fury just losing out there. It's Kelly also into the pits. So 3 people opted to take their pits up straight away. That's mixes. Yeah, Max has gone off, and Matt's gone round. Oh, can he hold it? No. Oh.
Ooh.
He avoids the wall.
He's only lost the position to his teammate though, which is the silver lining. But he's dropped off the back of Fury. I did say that car looked little bit slidey.
The car that looks good at the minute, though, is the leading Audi at the minute of Nick. He's still able to just put in some decent lap times. Peaceful, though, has also seen to found some pace as well. He's able to stick in the 28s at the minute. Seems to be a little bit happier in these conditions by the looks of things. As Argent now in P3, still now losing a little bit of time to Sutty Apex. He lost nearly enough 9/10 that last lap. So Peaceful matching his lap times. Argent towards the line. Does he improve a 30-0? So he's lost half a second to Sutty that lap. And Sutty Apex starting the wheel in the Audi now.
Yeah, Argent looking more happy, but he's having a little slide through there. Just hit the curb a bit too hard. But yeah, he definitely looks more at home in the Audi in the second race as Max comes back into the pit. So he has now done his stop. Is Matt going to be let through by Gary? Because at the minute, I think Gary and Matt are also outscoring Overtaker by are they outscoring him by enough? Because Overtaker's actually the car behind them.
Yeah, they're not outscoring him quite enough at this minute as Neek has made a mistake. He's lost out to Peaceful Explosion. Peaceful takes the lead of this race, and he's only got 3/10 over Neek. So Neek had a comfortable lead, and now he's lost it. He's got a Peaceful Explosion ahead of him now, and the Ferrari now leads this race. Can Peaceful Explosion get himself back on the top step of the podium? That is the question, as Neek currently P2 at the minute, as Max still in the pits, and Neek will not obviously be able to pit this lap, as Argent's gone straight on there, and Sutty and Fury will fly past Argent now, and Gary 131 is his next target.
Yeah, they're struggling. Matt's lost a bit of time to Gary, and Sutty and Argent in as well.
They are indeed.
There's Overtaker. Overtaker pushing very hard, and Overtaker's not going to stop this lap.
As Max looks like he's got some damage on the car because he's still not able to get going at the minute. So Neek trying to put Peaceful under a little bit of pressure here. Can Peaceful hold on to the pressure? And we saw earlier on Neek put on a great fight with Sutty Apex, and Sutty Apex actually we spoke to Matt briefly, and Sutty Apex in the party was actually was actually praising how well Neek was racing, and he's looking to the inside of Peaceful Exposure towards the triple. He gets alongside and pushes Peaceful wide, and Peaceful will have to lift and conceive the position. But fair enough there, Neek made a move into the triple, and he's gone a little bit wide, so Peaceful's going to get a little bit closer again, but not quite close enough as Sutty is coming out of the pits. By those things, and he's got Arjun right behind him.
Arjun's there, and he comes up just ahead of his teammate.
Oh, that angle really does scare some drivers. There's Neek and Peaceful are still very close to each other. Max has had some damage because he's still in the pits. He stopped.
He's parked in the pits. He's parked the car up, but he hasn't left the session, so he won't get a qualifying ban.
Well, he needs to cross the start-finish line to class as a classification. Peaceful will wiggle by the looks of things there. Neek retakes the lead of this race, but now Peaceful's got problems as Fury is now on his way to try and hunt him down. 29.4 for Gary, and a 28.9 from Matt. These guys are hunting him down. Overtaker, on the other hand, back in the 27s again.
He is indeed, but Overtaker's about 7 seconds off.
So Peaceful now needs to try and get back into a groove, and if he can, try and clear Neek and put a car between him and the Mercedes boys that are hunting him down if he possibly can. Still no one else to come into the pits. We're still waiting on Matt, Gary, no Smokey because he wasn't unable to get back in. Peaceful, Monkey Boy, Overtaker, no Emo, Fury still yet to pit. No Mazda, and we're still waiting on Neek also to pit as well. The end of the pit window will be lap 17, so it's still got a while yet. Still 7 laps until they can make their pit window.
Max has continued out on track, so he's actually just in front of the leaders.
So is Max now going to try and aid his teammate as much as he possibly can by trying to hold up Peaceful? That's the question here. So, as Max has dropped it by the sounds of things, he has. And off track he goes.
He's got massive damage again. He's rejoined safely. Gary's starting to put the pressure on Fury a bit now.
Yeah, and Peaceful has got back within half a second of Neek as well. So Peaceful is coming back at Neek now. Neek doing a 30 flat there. There was a mechanic in the middle of the track.
Yeah, there was.
What?
I think that was one of Neek's mechanics. It's that Overtaker's just on the fast lap of the race once again. Emplava, he's on the back of Argent, trying to break his way into the top 10.
Oh, you caught me off at the worst time there, Jamie. Yeah, so Gary at the minute still can't find a way past Fury, and once again they're just in the waiting game, waiting for a driver to make a mistake. Fury nearly made another one there. Little slide on the exit of the hairpin.
Monkey Boy's into the pit, so that promotes Sutty up to 7th, and D-Big's up to 8th. But D-Big's actually got ahead of his teammate, because Arjun come out ahead of him.
So D-Big's at the minute in a good position at the minute. He's currently, we reckon it's 32 seconds is a pit stop. So at the minute, it would drop him just behind Matt once these all guys pit. But these guys are lapping so quickly at the minute, they're catching the top 2. Neek at the minute struggling to try and match the pace of these Mercedes at the minute. And Peaceful now will probably starting to get a little bit frustrated because he knows that these Mercedes are coming. As PN says in the chat, brave mechanics. Gary pits.
Yeah, Gary pits. He breaks away and lets his teammate go after Fury, but I think the 3 Mercedes are trying to work together to get up to Neek and Peaceful. But Overtaker not far behind the back, but 5 seconds to get and comes across the line. It's 28.1, but he's still much quicker than anyone else on track. Fury's got a lot closer to the back of Peaceful now. Gap is 1.1.
Sorry, I'm just replying to Max at the minute. He's just saying he's got pedal issues. That's why he's struggling at the minute. So, and if he does obviously have genuine pedal problems, then if he has retired, then he won't carry a qualifying ban because obviously he can't help with mechanical issues. So, or hardware issues. But Fury really starting to push as hard as he possibly can. But I think Max really seems to be struggling with his pedals at the minute because he just keeps going off left, right and centre. Fury at the minute just bringing that lap time down to the top 2. Neek extending his gap ever so slightly to Peaceful. But Fury really trying to hunt him down. As Fury runs a little bit wide. Matt cuts the corner there. By the looks of things.
I think he just outbraked himself. I don't think he's gained any time, but Matt seems to be struggling a bit more in this second race. He comes in with Peaceful, so he's going to try and jump. But Fury's actually got a bit of front damage on, got a bit of damage on the front of his car. You can see Overtaker in the background. Does Overtaker set another fastest lap? No, not quite, but it was still a 28.1, still 6/10 quicker than Fury.
As Max is currently sitting at the end of the pit lane so he can try and fix the issue. He doesn't want to retire, but he's going to try and fix the pedals if he can. He's back out on track. It looks like he's got pedal response by the looks of things there. Might possibly be the brake pedal, but at the minute, Neek's still leading this race, but he's now got Fury hunting him down. Can Fury take 2 wins here? Can he do the London buses here? As Peaceful is coming back out, he's got quite a gap over Matt here, so Peaceful must have had a very, very good pit stop.
Yeah, but Gary, has he jumped ahead of the Ferrari?
No, I think the Ferrari's already out. He's long gone. He's already up into turn 3. So Matt, not the best pit stop from him then. And Slutty Apex and D-Biggs aren't too far behind them either. I said D-Biggs would be roughly around that group, and he is indeed. So Matt just ahead of Slutty and D-Biggs. When does Fury, Overtaker and Neek come into the pits? They're going to have to do so soon as they come into the end of lap 13. Neek into the penultimate corner, and he is into the pits.
But Fury continues on. What about Overtaker? Overtaker taking a lot of sausage curb. Oh, he looked like he was going to go into the pits there, but he didn't.
So can these two in clear air manage to jump Neek? That is the question. Neek's tyres will just balloon ever so slightly in the pit lane, but they will go back to normal pressure once he gets back out on track. But it's Fury and Overtaker now the top 2 on track. And like I said, it's about a 31 to 32 seconds. So at the minute, Fury would come out in between Gary and Peaceful if he pitted this lap.
Oh, and Max has now got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. A 10-second time penalty. It's not really going to matter because he's so far down. But Overtaker now trying to hunt down Fury.
Peaceful, that last lap was actually quite quick as Gary Neek has lost out to Peaceful and Gary. So Neek has lost the race lead here. So Peaceful Explosion is your net race leader now. So Peaceful Explosion, can he avoid the pirouettes and go on to win a race? I don't know the last time when Peaceful won a race. That's a question.
I'm not sure many people can remember.
I don't think Peaceful can remember, so we'll end the poll there. Everyone thinks that Fury will take the win for this one. I'll also put the driver of the day up in a moment's time, but Neek, again, pit stop issues has made him lose the race lead here. Overtaker and Fury still going. I know Fury's in.
Overtaker now out on his own, so this is what he likes best. So Overtaker takes the lead of the race, but he's going to have to... the net lead. Yeah,
he's going to have to pump in some big lap times here.
Yeah, he's going to come out around Neek and Matt.
Yeah, at this rate, that's where he'll drop into just behind Matt. It all depends, as Matt is actually racing Neek here. Matt on the outside, Neek is holding the inside. Fury is now coming to his pit box. He's going to lose out to Peaceful Gary. Is he going to lose out to Neek? That is the question. They're coming down as Matt Fury's going to come off the limiter any minute now. So he does so now. So you can hear him going. So Peaceful and Gary go into turn 1 and 2. Here comes Neek and Matt. This is going to be close on exit. There goes Gary. There goes Fury.
There goes Fury. So Matt in 6th. Sitting a bit so tight, and Neek is just kind of holding Matt up a little bit here. So Matt's got to be quick and decisive of where he goes for. And Gary is now on the back of Peaceful, and Peaceful's had a wiggle.
He has indeed. As I'm just going to sort out the poll for the driver of the day, as Gary's still trying to hunt down Peaceful Explosion. But
yeah,
obviously,
Matt really needs to get past that Audi quick. quickly. He's having a look. That's not the place to look. But Overtaker's got a penalty. Overtaker's got a penalty.
Oh no, Overtaker there just too fast into the pit wall, and he hits the pit wall as well. So Overtaker, 10-second penalty will be added to his time for speeding in the pit lane.
He's hit the wall quite a few times, so he could lose a lot of positions here. Matt's still trying to get past, but he can't at the minute.
No, he cannot. As at the minute, Neek's still trying to hold back Matthew Duffin at the minute as Overtaker is back out. So Overtaker's done his pit stop. He is going to lose out to this bunch, and Peaceful Explosion will take the lead of this race. I'm actually going to try and find where Peaceful's last win is. I don't have a clue where I'm going to find that.
I'm thinking if possibly season 3. Where's Overtaker going to come out? He's
Behind. Oh!
Little.
Oh, he slots in perfectly there between Matt and Neek there. That was close. And Matt will have to... Oh, Matt makes contact with... Matt just has to remember that Overtaker's got a 10-second penalty. He does not want to be making contact here with Overtaker.
No, all he's got to do is stick to the back of Overtaker and he'll be fine. But if he gets in front, that would be... Pieces made a mistake. Gary and Fury have got through.
Oh, no. Just as I try and find Peaceful's last win, he makes the mistake and he drops down the order once again. Peaceful Explosion currently only on 2 wins, and it was season 2, according to this, which was Bathurst.
Yeah, I remember he won season 1 at Silverstone, and that's the only one I can remember. It's been such a long time, and I think he's got to wait a bit longer.
He is indeed. So now the top 6 only separated by 4.5 seconds. Matt runs a little bit wide and touches the gravel there, but he does remember that Overtaker has got a 10-second time penalty, which also at the minute Sutty Apex is just in that window, as is M Brava. He's just outside of it at the minute, but at the minute Overtaker will drop down to P8 at this rate.
Yeah, if Neek has been very good at defending, but he looks like he's going on the attack.
Oh, Peaceful's gone round. He's just managed to hold it together, and now that's Neek up into P3. That's going to be possibly his first podium here at Simplay Motorsport, as Neek now into P3. Can he hunt down the 2 Mercedes, which Fury is right on the back of Gary 131? Yeah,
Peaceful had a little wiggle, but Matt isn't able to get through. Matt looking a bit desperate now to try and get through, because he can see him disappearing down the road. Peaceful's had another wiggle, and nearly took Matt with him there.
So Peaceful Explosion was your race leader. He's now dropped down to P6. 1 minute he was looking so good. Next minute he's dropped down the order. Fury in 2nd place at the minute, but he's looking to try and hunt down Gary and find a way past. Neek, on the other hand, is actually lapping quicker than Gary at this minute, and is looking to try and catch onto the back of Fury and Gary.
He is indeed, and Matt's trying to stay on the back of Overtaker. The more cars within that 10-second window for Matt, the better, because Overtaker loses more points. He's just got to hope that he defends very, very hard.
As driver of the day vote has gone out, Matt, Fury, Overtaker or Neek. Those are the drivers, but also if you think there's anybody else, then please put your vote in on the chat as well. Fury is up on his time and is looking to try and find a way past Gary 131. That is Max in turn 1. Best thing to do for him is just stay there and do not move and allow the leaders to come through, in which he is doing. Still obviously having pedal issues there. He wants to get to the end. When was the last time Gary 131 won a race? Asked Smithy. I will find that information out for you in a moment's time. I think it has been this season he's won a race. I can't remember where, as Matt looked very slidey coming into the hairpin there. He's made a mistake.
He's made a mistake, and he's just got to be careful he's not made more mistakes. But Gary had a little bit of a gap. Peaceful's now clinging onto the back, and Matt's now lost 3 seconds to Overtaker, but he's still within that window.
He is still in the window.
He's pushing too. I think Matt's pushing a little bit too hard now to try and catch on to Overtaker. I wonder whether Overtaker's pit exit has annoyed Matt a little, and he's now just trying to catch him.
So according to this, Gary 131 has not won a race this season in the Mercedes-Benz. So Fury now really hunted him down. Gary would want a win here. He's not had one all season. I don't think Gary's got a season without a win. So I think he might have won in the Renault last season.
No, he was in the Porsche last season.
Oh, sorry, in the Porsche.
I don't think he did win a race last season.
Oh, okay, so let's find out. But nonetheless, Fury is really pushing him now. Can Gary 1-3 hang on? Gary has won a race in Formula 2. That was his last race win. That was at Bahrain. So, can Gary hang in there? Season... Yeah, so every season he has at least won a race. In season 5, which he did win a race, but I can't remember off the top of my head where he won. As Overtaker looking to try and make a move on Nick, but he can't find a way through, and on the grass he goes. And Nick will just have to hold in there a little bit longer as Overtaker can't find a way through. Matt and Peaceful are still within that 10 seconds. Who else is in that 10 seconds? Emplava is just outside it as there we go. Overtaker down the inside. Nick's going to hang out on the outside. Is Nick really going to fight this off as he knows he's got 10 seconds? They go side by side through the chicane, and Overtaker gets the job done. Do it door robbing, but Nick gets the job. How they managed to get through there, I do not know.
Yeah, good driving there from Nick again. Overtaker's going to go into the inside. Nick's going to try it round the outside, but that comes to no avail. So Overtaker is now going to try and hunt after Gary and Fury.
He is indeed. He's basically all Overtaker's trying to do is extend his gap to take that 10 seconds away. But at a minute, he will fall right down the order as it stands. Fury is within 3/10 of Gary 131. He is closer than ever. Is he going to try and send it into turn 1? He's not quite close enough. Late on the brakes, but he's right on the back of Gary 131. Gary running a season without a single win. Might be this season, or can he just hang in there here at Oscherslaben? And he's hanging that Mercedes sideways. Fury's right on the back bumper of him.
He is indeed. Max now onto the back.
Nick has got past Overtaker.
Overtaker's off, he's in the wall. He's going to lose so many positions now.
He's going to lose so many positions and points. This is going to help Jaeger Motorsport get closer to winning the championship. Fury's over the curb. Gary needs this win for Jaeger Motorsport to probably take the constructors. Now, I'm going to try and figure out myself.
Or for Matt to get past Nick.
Or that, can Matt get himself back on the podium as it stands at the minute? I'm trying to figure out Matt's system here, best I possibly can. So if Matt comes 4th and Gary wins the race, I've now got to find where Overtaker is. Is that going to update itself? Probably not.
Overtaker would end up 9th.
He would end up 9th. So
if
that's
things stay as they are. So
at the minute, Gary get 25 points, Matt would get 13, Overtaker would only get 7. And that would mean Jaeger Motorsport would take the constructors here tonight if Gary and Matthew can outscore him. At the minute, they would outscore him by 13 points. So at the minute, Overtaker's not doing enough to hang in there for the constructors at the minute.
He's right on the back of Sutty, but as we saw in race 1, Sutty was
oh, and Plava in the back, I'm going really sideways, but he manages to catch it together.
Yeah, as we saw in race 1, Sutty was definitely not willing to let
Fury is closer than ever. He's right on the back bunker. Gary 131. They've only got 3 laps to go. Fury wanting the double win, trying to keep his fight in the championship. Sutty Apex has got Overtaker up his backside in the triple.
Yeah, I think Overtaker is trying to push him through that, possibly just trying to push him wide. So Overtaker needs to be a bit careful because he's trying too hard and trying touring car moves now. He's on the grass. He's trying He's trying so hard now, and he's just trying to force. I think he's just trying to force cars wide
Fury
as well.
It's within the 10th. He's lost it now. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I just keep looking between Sutty and Gary. As Overtaker looking to the outside here. Is he going to get the job done? Yes, he is. So he's back past Sutty Apex, but he's got to make 10 seconds on him now as he runs a little bit wide. A 10th now, separating Gary and Fury. They're closer than ever. Fury's more likely to try and do it into turn 1. Gary defends the inside. Fury to the outside. Is he trying to get the run? Gary's going to push him wide. He does so, and Fury can't find a way past. Great race racing from these two. Perfection there from the two-time champ. Fury's growing sideways as Overtaker's dropped behind Sutty again, but the Fury's hanged on to it. All sorts of actions here on the last few laps here at Oscherslaben, the penultimate round of the season, round 22. If you like what you see here, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any of the action, especially the action between Fury and Gary. And now Matt is on the back of Nick.
It is indeed. And Emplava actually got past Sutty and Overtaker, so Overtaker's actually gone down to 8th place.
Overtaker losing more points. The championship is going the way of Jaeger Motorsport at the minute for the constructors. All they have to do is finish in these positions, and Gary will be a 3 times constructors champion. Matt will be a 2-time constructors champion. 1 in Pro-Am and 1 in Pro. He needs to find a way past Nick just to secure a little bit more. Fury has lost a second to Gary now.
He has indeed, but as Fury's just taking a little bit of a breather and is just going to come back. Or Matt having a look. It's no, probably not the place to do it. He looks so much quicker. But Nick is just placing his car in all the right positions. But Nick runs a little bit wide. Is Matt going to get the drive? No, not really.
Nick possibly on his way to try and take his first podium here. Matt gives him a flash, saying, right, come on, mate, time to get out of my way, as they now start penultimate lap. Gary has got 2 laps to keep Fury behind him. Gary, with so much wisdom, so much experience in these cars, he's able to try and keep Fury behind him. And always is race 2, Jamie, as Overtaker looks to make a move on Sutty Apex to turn 1, as Sutty tries to squeeze him into turn 1, but can't do so. And Overtaker gets the position back. Can he get past Emplava? But what was I saying there? Gary, with so much experience, race 2, he always seems to come alive.
He does indeed. Matt still having a look, but he just can't get past. Gary with a brilliant defensive drive. Fury sideways through the corner.
Guys, get your votes in on driver of the day. This has been a fantastic race. Please hit that like button as well, because these guys have put on an amazing show here. Fury and Gary to the death. Last couple of laps here. Gary's just got 1 1/4 lap to go. He has a wiggle.
He went wide. Fury had sent it sideways. It's at 10. Fury can smell the win. He tries to the outside. He's going to try for the better run down the straight.
Gary just parking it on the apex as he should. Down into turn 1 we go. Final lap here of round 22 here at Oscherslaben. Fury's looking everywhere. Gary defends the inside. Fury to the outside. Fury looks like he's gone deep though. He can't get the job done. He's got the inside though. Gary runs a little bit wide. He's going to have to try and come over, but Fury can't get the job done. Nick is still hanging on to P3 at the minute, but Gary is still in front of Fury. What a race we are having here. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because these two have put on an epic final race. As Gary's gone wide.
Fury's up the inside. Is Gary going to hold it right around the outside? He can't. But Fury gets sideways, and Fury is on for the London buses now. Gary's had a twitch, and I think this one's now going to go the way of Fury. But Jaeger Motorsport still going to win the Constructors' Championship.
As it stands, I think they still will win the Constructors' Championships. But Fury at the minute is trying everything he possibly can just to hang in there. We got half a lap to go here pretty much, as Fury now is on his way to take the London buses. But Gary isn't going to give up. He's going to have 1 more shot at this. As Fury, he has run wide. This is going to give Gary the opportunity to have a sniff off an opportunity. He goes to the outside. He's going to try and switch for the final corner. Fury, Gary, Fury, into the final corner we go. Who's going to get the drive? Fury a little bit loose on the exit, but it's Fury who will take another win here. That is race number 33 for him. And Nick will come home to take his first podium here at Simplay Motorsport. He will come home in P3, a well-deserved drive from him. Matt will take P4, Peaceful Explosion will take P5. 6th will go the way of Emplava if Sutty Apex tries to out-drag him to the line. Overtaker has lost out massively to these two. It's Emplava, then Sutty Apex. Overtaker has dropped his rear wing, and he's going to drop down the order as well.
He needs to be careful, because he might lose out to Argent here. D-Biggs is going to come flying past. D-Biggs comes past. And Overtaker looked like he spun across the line. Oh, I think he He's looking, spin across the line. Is Argent going to do him? Argent might do him, and Overtaker might be 10th.
Overtaker's going to lose out massive points here because of that. He doesn't quite lose out to Argent. He will finish in P9 there. And I'm pretty sure Matt will already be updating the tables as I can see him doing it already. And either way, we might have to get Matt into the chat as well, because I think by that point and the way it pans out, Jaeger Motorsport are now Constructors champions here at Simplay Motorsport. But what a drive, may I say, from Fury and Gary. What an amazing final lap. Yeah. As we still got,
We've still got Monkey Boy versus, and Kelly coming to the line. Kelly comes across the line for 11th and Monkey Boy 12th. What a brilliant race that was.
That was an awesome race, and fastest lap there, I think, goes the way of Overtaker. But wow, what a race. That was absolutely fantastic. And hopefully we get Gary and Neek into here as well. Get your votes here for driver of the day. Jamie, I'm going to come back to you, obviously, for your driver of the day as well. It's very even at the minute, 7 votes, and it's 3 between them. But it is Fury. He takes the race win here. He's now his 33rd race win here at Simplay Motorsport. Second is Gary 131. Can he go a season without winning a race? He's managed to do every season with at least 1 win to his name. Could this be the season? He doesn't. Nick comes home for his first podium here at Simplay Motorsport in P3. Matt will go into P4 and extends his championship lead over Overtaker. And Fury is starting to bring that gap down. Peaceful will be happy with P5. Disappointed though because he was leading the race. Emplava in P6, Sati Apex with P7, D-Biggs will come in P8, Overtaker all the way down in P9 in the end with that 10-second penalty added to his name. 10th place is Argent, 11th is KLF, 12th is Monkey Boy, 13th is Max Mulder after pedal issues for him. As I've just got the tables updated now, just refresh them, and we'll do the Drivers' Championship first. And Matt will leave a very happy man here after Oscherslaben, a circuit that was probably not suited for him or his car. He leads here with a gap of 20 points over Overtaker.
30.
Well, it says here 20, so 30 points then. There we go, that was updated. 30 points he leads ahead of Matt, but tonight Fury has managed to keep himself in this championship. He will take it to Monza. He's 43 points behind. Matt needs to outscore him by 11 to take the title away from Fury. P4 is Gary, P5 is Peaceful, P6 is D-Biggs, 7 is Slutty Apex, who's catching D-Biggs. He's only 10 points behind him, but D-Biggs is only a point behind Peaceful, so it's still a great fight for P5, 6 and 7. Emplava in P8, P9 is Smoky Devil, P10 is KLF, P11 is Andy, 12th is Mazda, 13th Emo Guy, 14th is Argent, 15th Monkey Boy, Max, 16th, 17th is Neek, and 18th is actually no, sorry, Max and Neek go the opposite way around. Neek is actually in 16th and Max in 16th. But the more important thing, both Matt and Gary can be very proud of themselves. They have now gone and taken the Constructors' Championship here in the Pro. Jaeger Motorsport win the Constructors here. Silas and Lambo is currently in second, but still being able to get caught by Teletubby Motorsport. And P4 is Audio Sport Pro Labs. Can they hang on ahead of Smoking Hot Racing? They're only a point behind them. Pushing Limits Racing, currently 6 points behind, 6th place, but they're only a couple points ahead of Simplay Racing. So still a lot to fight for in the Constructors. P8 is Slingshot Motorsport. Can Sneaker Academy cash onto the back of them as well? And we do have the top 3 in with us. Just before we do so, if Neek is in the chat, are you able to just change the party settings to allow your voice to be heard, to be shared in the party, just to make sure that we are able to hear you, because we want to say what an amazing drive from yourself. Absolutely amazing and well deserved on your P3.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I think my party audio is actually being able to be shared on the live stream. So yeah, thanks a lot, man. It was a really good race. I think, yeah, I did miss the previous 2 races because I was away, but I did race in Hockenheim. And in that race, I actually just missed out on the podium in the second race. So it was great to sort of get a redemption for that and actually bring home a top 3 in this race here in race 2 at Oscherslaben. But yeah, it was a pretty decent weekend. I think the pace was alright. In the race, I was caught up in an incident in lap 1, in turn 3, when somebody hit. Well, I tagged someone, I can't remember who it was, and he kind of half spun in front of me, and I hit him, so I was driving up with a bit of damage for the first couple of laps.
Yeah.
And after I pitted, I did have. Yeah, I think my pace was decent, but I was only able to get around P6, P7, and then I made a mistake in the last lap, which even dropped me 1 position. But that was kind of a blessing in disguise, because that meant that I was able to qualify for this race. And then qualifying went pretty well. I qualified in second with a 28, which I wasn't actually expecting. I actually went quicker in the second race and also in the second qualifying session. And yeah, then I had a pretty good start, and I think Peaceful Explosion was leading in the first stage of the race.
Yeah.
He then made a mistake, half spun. I was able to take the lead, and at some point I had a bit of a gap of about 3 or so seconds. But then I actually made a mistake in the same corner as Peaceful, and I lost the advantage I had, and lost the lead briefly, and then I was able to get it back. But then in the pit stop phase, I must have had a slow in-lap or maybe a slow pit stop, even though I didn't change tires or refuel or fix damage. So for some reason, a lot of other drivers were able to undercut me, or even overcut me. Yeah, that way I lost the lead and lost a couple of positions, and especially the 2 Mercs of Gary and Fuhrer were really fast, and yeah, it was not possible to actually regain the lead and catch up to them. For a long time in the final stint, I was nearly matching the pace. I think for a while the gap stayed around the same at like 2 seconds. But yeah, eventually I got attacked by I think it was Madahimovic at the end of the race, but also somebody else. It might have been Overtaker, who then attacked me for P3. And that lost me a bit of time, and yeah, that lost a bit of touch with the 2 Mercs in front. And then he actually made a mistake and spun, so that was that allowed me to get back into P3. And then Madahimovic was also pretty quick at the end of the race, and he was challenging me hard for the final podium position. And yeah, we had a slight bit of contact on the last lap in turn 3, and I think he sort of half spun, and I lifted up a little bit because I wasn't sure if it was my mistake turning in. I didn't really feel the contact, I just noticed that he kind of half spun, but that allowed me to get a couple of meters and hang on to P3. But I was definitely very relieved when I crossed the line and clinched the podium, especially after having missed out on it in Hockenheim. And yeah, also congratulations to Fury, CBK, and on winning the race, and to Gary in second, and also to Jaeger Motorsports winning the Constructors Championship.
Well, you pretty much summed everything up for me there, but I've got to say as well, the brief time you've been here at Simplay Motorsport, you've made a very big impression to not just obviously us, but also to some of the drivers, Slutty Apex and a couple others as well, actually praising your driving and saying how very clean and able to race with you. So, mate, you have put on a fantastic show here tonight, and we just want to say again, congratulations on your first podium here. Hopefully, you can come back next season, maybe a possible win in Monza, but we'd be love to seeing you back on the grid for Season 7. If you and Max are able to.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely try to be on the grid again next season. And yeah, thanks a lot for having me here and also having me up in the booth for the interview. Really appreciate it.
Nonetheless, congratulations, mate, on P3, and we'll see you in a week's time at Monza.
Yeah, see you next time.
Cheers. As we then move, we're gonna move to Fury, because we'll come back to Gary and Matt in a second. But we'll go to Fury. You've managed to do it, mate. The London buses, 2 race wins, and again at a circuit that, again, you probably didn't expect it here, but nonetheless, race win number 33.
Yeah, it's a shock considering the car did not feel as strong in race 2 as it did in race 1. But luckily, just being able to keep the consistent laps coming in, keeping the car under control, and just keeping the pace, it all came together.
Talk us through those last couple of laps, because that fight between you and Gary was absolutely epic. We didn't know where to look. We were watching Nick and Matt going at it, and we were watching yourself and Gary. What an amazing fight you two put on. Absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah, it felt amazing to fight Gary. Obviously, I had some... Oh, I didn't repair my engine damage because I had aero damage instead from the formation lap. But the engine damage kind of just built up more and more. And I think at the end I had like 11 engine damage, so I was just hoping to stay within that second of Gary, get the slipstream, and have the better exit speed out of the corners.
When you came to Oscherslaben this week, did you think you would still be in the championship hunt? You have managed to keep yourself into the final round at Monza.
Absolutely not. Obviously, it gets said a lot, but it's not a Merc track, and that just proves that the Merc can go well. You just need the right setup for it.
well, go into a week's time to Monza, where it will be more of a Mercedes track. Can you continue this winning streak, and can you take the fight to Matt and Overtaker with the last 2 rounds of the season?
I've got a pretty decent setup for Monza. I feel pretty confident at Monza. Obviously, it being more speed. So hopefully, I can just piece it all together. Hopefully, get onto the back of Overtaker and Matt, scare him a little bit, and come through and hopefully get as many points as I can.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the double win tonight. And I think also you haven't quite taken driver of the day. Matt has just beat you to it in the fans. But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the 2 wins tonight.
Cheers, mate, and congratulations to Nick on his first podium, and Gary and Matt for winning the Constructors.
As we now move on to Gary, first things first, mate, obviously the race. What an epic fight you and Fury had towards the end, and that was absolutely amazing. Watching that reminded me of mine and your fight at Silverstone. What a great fight that was.
Yeah, that was good. I'm happy with. I found a little tweak in the setup now that I can actually brake now, as you probably can tell in the second race. Struggled in the first, but yeah, I found a little knack there. So hopefully around a decent track, the car will perform, and yeah, I'm back. Let's get some more pace.
Right, obviously I mentioned it briefly in the stream. Gone all the 5 seasons we've done so far, you've at least won one race this season. So close to winning this one. Can you win at Monza and keep that streak going?
I'm hoping so. Like I said, I found this tweak, so hopefully that'll suit Monza. It's given me a lot more confidence in the car. I was saying during that race that it's totally transformed the car. So yeah, hopefully we can get the win. I was hoping to get it in that one, but tried to park on the apex a bit too much on the last lap and kind of got too much of the curve. And yeah, Fury found his way through and was up the road.
that was a brilliant fight though. And also, your brother last night went and took the Pro-Am Drivers' Championship. Tonight, the Leachy Legends continue winning championships. You have gone and taken the Constructors' title with Matt here. Congratulations on that. How does that one feel?
Yeah, seems good. Obviously, Matt's picked up most of the points this year, with me still obviously struggling with the car, but hopefully next season we'll be back and, yeah, just try and defend the title.
Well, congratulations on the P2, mate. And obviously, let's get your other teammate in. Matt, obviously a word from yourself. First things first, that fight with Nick, that was absolutely brilliant. He gave you a run for your money then.
That's quality, mate. I said to Peaceful and Sutty before we came in that he's respectful and clean, and that was awesome.
Yeah, obviously, with yourself being a champion in Pro-Am, Gary being a champion, Sutty also going for championship, he's really has proven a point here, hasn't he?
He's came in late and he's sort of like found his feet at Hockenheim from the word go, and then I know he's missed a couple, but this week sort of like sets in stone of how good he is, you know, and how good he can be in the future if he's able to do a full season.
And obviously, the main thing as well, you and Gary 131 in Aston Martin in F1. Now you've done it in the Mercedes here in the Pro Championship. You are a Constructors champion in F1, in Pro-Am, and now in the Pro. How does that feel?
Yeah, crazy. And, you know, you can't have a better teammate than a 2-time champ, a 2-time Constructors champion, an F1 Constructors champion, Gary. He always makes me a better driver, and I've always said that from our old days, from back in the previous leagues, that Gary's always made me a better driver. And yeah, this year I think it was a team that on paper, when you look at it, was a strong team, and we've had to do the business. It's been tough along the way, but we've got it, and I couldn't be happy. I do believe as well, you know, Pro-Am and Pro back-to-back Constructors Championships. Game on next week though. Now, Dan, one more job to do.
I was going to say, who was the better teammate, Gary or Smithy? That's the important question.
Well, Smithy teaches me and Gary and Little Each everything we need to know. So without Smithy, none of us three would be here. You know, Smithy is the GOAT. Said it last season, said it again. Without Smithy, we won't be here.
Well, more importantly, we do go to next week at Monza. Mercedes circuit. Fury has dragged himself back into this championship tonight. You've got to watch your left shoulder for him, because he's coming. Also, Overtaker still 30 points behind. He still can get you. Lamborghini, still very fast car in a straight line. It's down to the wire at Monza.
Down to the wire. I know what I've got to do. I've already worked it out what I've got to do. I've not got to do it. So it's easier said than done when you're working it out. I've now got to go out there and do it. And, you know, obviously now that Gary's got the constructors, obviously I know he can sort of be a bit of a rear gunner next week now. And look, there's great memories of Gary at this track.
I'm going for a win, mate. So
I was about to say, I think Gary doesn't care about that. He wants a win.
As long as it's a 1-2, I'll give it you on the line, mate.
I'm happy with that. Cool.
Gary's got great memories around here in the wet, and yeah, I think he won his championship here, or might have been Imola, one of his championships here. So hopefully I can do the same thing. And it's nice to see Gary back on the constructors' championship step. Obviously, either you or Gary's now won 3 between you. With Biggs and Little each winning 3, 2, and myself now 1. So it's nice to be a part of that group and Drivers' Championship to do next week. I know what I've got to do. I've got to do it now. Well,
congratulations on tonight's racing. Also, congratulations on the constructors. Gary and Matahimovic have come together and they have taken the constructors champion, Jaeger Motorsport. The whole of Simplay are going to be getting Jaeger shots towards the end of the season, thanks courtesy of them. Make sure.
Donington Park, see you there.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in a week's time as we head to Monza. But before we do, Jamie, what a night's worth of racing. Race 1 was a little bit quiet and dull in places, but the final race, what an epic race, and obviously your driver of the day as well.
Oh yeah, what an epic race. Race 2 was good, clean racing from everyone. Well done to Matt and Gary for winning the constructors. Well done to Nick, Gary and Fury for getting on the podium for Fury for winning the race, and on to Monza for the decider. I think Matt might not be able to cope after tonight.
I think he's going to have a break though. Also, your driver of the day?
My driver of the day has got to go to Fury.
You're going the way of Fury. That makes it even with Matt and Fury in the pole, and I really want to give it to Neek, but Fury has really put it onto another level tonight. But I'm going to go with Neek on this one, actually. Neek for driver of the day to me. But nonetheless, make sure you tune in a week's time as the final round of the championship is underway at Monza. Can Pick and Mix Motorsport make it a double Leach Constructors champion? Can a little Leach take that to him as well? Also, make sure you tune in on Thursday night as we will be back live once again here at Simplay Motorsport. Fury, Overtaker, Matahimovic, all 3 going for the title as we go to the home of speed. Is it going to be dry or is there going to be rain? Reckon about that is the question. But more importantly, tune in on Sunday night as Gary will be returning back on track, as will myself and Jamie. Also, Forzy and Fury will be on track as we head to China, Shanghai, for the Chinese Grand Prix in F2 on a Sunday night. Make sure you tune in on that as Matt will bring you all the action there. But from myself and Jamie, it's been an awesome night's worth of racing, and we are going down to the wire at Monza. We will see you in a week's time.